sun's down here in Arizona, but the drivers are here, ready to battle, ready to race, ready to have fun. This is round number 4, the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, and we're here at a 1-mile circuit. We're here at Phoenix. It's going to be a great night of racing. Peter Gretton, Jai Schultz in the commentary here tonight. We've gone from a 1.5 mile to a 1 mile here at Phoenix, Jai. It's a cracker of a night that's set up, I think. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's definitely looking like a promising night with the times in practice so far, but what better to be racing under lights here at Phoenix and 180 laps tonight, so it's going to be a bit of a cracker tonight.
It's a long race too, 180 laps around here, and it's going to be, well, I think Plan said he's going to sort of come into plan here tonight because, well, 180 laps, we're looking at around about 2 hours of racing here for tonight's clash here at Phoenix. See the tri-oval with the dog leg here as well, and with a 75% fuel cap, Jai. That's where the interesting part comes in, doesn't it? Where you sort of got a second guess when you can make it home and when you can't.
Yeah, it's definitely opening up the strategy, having the 75% cap on it. So it's looking like around 45-ish laps for a stint. So it's definitely going to be very strategic tonight, I reckon.
Can you keep your tyres good for 45 laps? What's the feel out there? What's the talk throughout the paddock leading into this one? Is tyres going to be the talk of the town tonight, or is the fuel strategy and yellow flag stops sort of come into it?
I think it's going to be pretty hit and miss with tyres and fuel. So they're looking at about the 45 laps on fuel, and doing that 45 laps, they're looking at about 30% tyre wear as well used in that stint. So we'll have to see who can keep the tyres and who can look after them as the tyres get used up quite a bit if they do decide to cut the dog leg.
That's going to be something we're going to watch. We know they're all going to cut make use of the dog leg. So that's going to be one thing. They're going to use it in quali. Are they going to use it in the race? So only time will tell with that. It does pick you up a lot of time utilising that dog leg, but the tyres. Are you going to risk the extra tyre wear over just a couple of seconds? Thanks, Cobes, for the bit of feedback. I've just increased my volume a little bit, so we'll see how that comes through. Hopefully, it comes through pretty good throughout the evening. Remember, jump into all 4 platforms here tonight, both LR Esports YouTube and also the Skypoynt, and also both again platforms on Facebook. So we welcome all the viewers here tonight. If you're new to this sort of stuff and the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E-Series, well, you've come and you're beginning a pretty big journey and a pretty fun journey here tonight at Phoenix. It's going to be a night race. It's going to be, some sort of spectacle, rather. $1,000 up for grabs for the Skypoynt Triple Crown. We know Daytona and Talladega, they have a huge part to play in the puzzle of gaining that massive prize, and in the series, which we've got just there, the top, the furthest right column, that has changed a little bit from last round. Skurlock, Holdsworth, Barber, the top 3 in the series so far, Jai, and the points rather, they're pretty close, but it's early on to say. But $1,000 up to grabs, is every point is worth more than what you think.
Yeah, it's definitely a very valuable prize and an awesome thing for the Skypoynt to put them on as well. So it's definitely hard ask to get on top of all 3 columns there, but we'll see if someone can pull it off at the end of the series.
Well, it's looking good for Skurlock and Holdsworth and Barber there, and Pritchard and Steve Williams, not to mention his top 5 of the championship as well. So it's a long series. Anything can happen, but that's up for grabs for anyone to win. As I just mentioned, it is a long series, but round 4, it seems like we've been going only a couple of weeks, but apparently we've been doing this stuff now for 4 weeks as we take a look at some of the times in practice, which is almost finished, I might add. Adam Malone from Southern Stars Esports, 26.60 is his quickest around here. So but Aiden Schulz, number 1 championship defender, 26.63 as we see the car 6 of Andy Barber just get turned around. Mackenzie there, Douglas, Pritchard. The Southern Stars and Skypoynt gang, they're looking quick out here tonight, but
yeah, definitely looking strong in practice here with 5 drivers in the top 6, and the times are extremely close with the top 16 within half a second, and then the top 30 within a second. So it's definitely close, and you're going to have to absolutely nail it in qualifying to get the pole position here.
Well, it is a a closed qualifying position, so it is pretty much all about the one lap. You don't have draft, you don't have all the good bits that we like in NASCAR or any oval racing. So that's it's all on you. It's all on your prep. It's number 10, I think, of Dave Douglas is leaving the pit lane. We've got a couple other drivers on track as well, but talk us through a qualifying line around here, Jai. I know you did mention that you haven't had a lot of time here, but it's a 1 mile track. It's somewhat similar to the 1.5 miles, I gather.
Yeah, it's probably the most similar to the 1.5 miles over a short track. So a few of the guys in the practice session earlier today were saying that they're quick laps on their second lap. So you spend the first lap really still getting up to speed and getting a bit of heat in tyres as the tyres get a bit sketchy on the first lap. But yeah, you kind of want to cut the dog leg but get right to the outside wall again before they enter turn 1. And then just do a really a wide arc into the corner and then go right down and hit that yellow line a bit later than the apex. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting, and see who can really nail it, as we see Skurlock there using that dog leg to his advantage there. So yeah, we'll see what the times come up with.
It's going to be good to watch as well. We're still getting calls for me to turn my mic up. That's probably the very first time that I'll hear that. But good save, I just noticed on the last lap. And is he going to save it here? No. He's just going to mention his save, I think, in around about the same spot there, Jai. So Skurlock having a bit of dramas get around here, and hopefully, well, he gets it out of his system in qualifying. But at the minute, we've got Jason Holdsworth from Nitro Racing out on top with a 26.44. So plenty of competition, and these guys, well, they've pretty much done their laps apart from a couple of them.
Yeah, Holdsworth is definitely shaping up to be a very strong competitor in this series so far, with a very good result last week as well. So, but yeah, that lap for Skurlock was a bit of a shame, as it was ending his first lap and about to start his second lap. So, I believe where the start line is situated and how the lone 2-lap qualifying works, I think that might be him done for qualifying. So he'll have quite a lot of work to make up tonight.
Jason Holdsworth, he's currently got provisional pole with a 26.44. Mackenzie and Schulz behind him with Buggerall in it. Super close here at Phoenix. Round number 4 as we see a car just go around of the 110 machine. But as I just mentioned, the times are pretty close here, Jai, but a 26.44, I think that's going to stand in qualifying.
Yeah, he's got a 0.18 of a second in front of Darren McKenzie, so definitely a strong time, and getting those tyres up to temperature really helped him there. So definitely strong, and we'll see if he can hold it on for the finish their laps.
Well, that's the good thing too with this qualifying. It doesn't, as soon as the time sort of checks out, it doesn't mean lap over. You can finish as long as you cross the checkered line. And much better exit there from Michael Skurlock, the 350 machine, but he's currently sitting down in the standings at the minute in 14th position. He's on a fly though, he didn't lose it. Let's see what he can do here. Let's see if he can improve. He does improve. Oh, it's a 15th position. Paul Regnick, he just had a massive gain up the totem on the left side. Jai up into 8th at that time, 26.96, which is only around about 2/10 off the leader.
Yeah, the times are extremely close. We've got the top 20 cars at the moment within the second, so yeah, no, extremely close, and Holdsworth's got a decent gap over the field as well, so definitely a strong showing and a great start to the night.
We've got the restart zones coming into play as well, I do believe, and we already touched on that before, didn't we, Jai? The new addition to oval racing, the restart zones, I believe they're in effect here tonight.
Yes. So yeah, they're in effect on the start of the race and all the restarts. So the restart zone here is quite small. It does look quite large on the outside wall, but because the restart zone is actually in the middle of a corner, a lot of the drivers were actually saying how short it was. So we'll see who gets to jump, and if anyone ends up getting a penalty for a breach in the restart zone as well.
Well, it's a new thing, but it is implemented in a couple of series. Jason Holdsworth put it on pole. We've got a bit of chatter happening at the minute, but the guys will press out of here for 180 laps here at Phoenix. Tyres, well, that's going to be the talk of the town, is what we've pretty much gone on with the last couple of rounds. And when you come into shorter rounds rather than super speedways, the tyres have to work, and the drivers, well, they work them. Sometimes you've only got 1 or 2% left in the tyres after your stint, and it's just what it's going to be here tonight. When do you pit? When don't you pit? Is it going to stay green? Are we going to see cautions? Well, we've got 180 laps to get through. There's a million cogs in that chain. Jason Holdsworth with a time of 26.44 starts along Darren McKenzie. They'll have row number 1. Aidan Shaw's put him up there with Stephen Williams for row 2. Dave Douglas and Kai Turner will start out at 3rd. Trent Gosley, Regney will have 4th. Pritchard and Barber side by side for Skypoynt Racing start out at 9th and 10th position. Tristan Koch and Maxi Marshall will have 6th row of the field. We go over the page. Vassell and Spencer. Michael Skurlock, he was struggling, wasn't he, with a little bit of rear end grip coming through 3 and 4. He starts alongside Nigel Seidel. Nigel Patton and Jason Wolfe will have the 9th row. Fenson and Shallow will round out your 20. Craig Roffey and Ken O'Hara will start out at 21st and 22nd position. Shannon Blackburn and Shane Roffey will start out at 24th. That's a name we don't usually mention down in the field. One of the Roffeys. Luke Kenny will start out of 25th alongside Brendan Cusack. Tony Roffey and Kim Roffey, family members, start alongside each other. Warwick Taylor, Wayne Sheedy, round out your 30 on this massive field. Gareth Anderson, Derek Jacobs, Adam Malone, Justin Mitchell, Chris Coleman, Reese May, out of 36. Over the page, last and not least, Scott Waterson to round out the 37 car field, Jai. Well, this is the time of racing. This is the time that we've been waiting out for this whole week, isn't it, really?
Come on.
Is race day, round 4 of the Skypoynt Truck Series, or NASCAR Truck Series as I've been calling it. It's been anticipation galore, hasn't it? But it's all down to this. Any big names you can make a call on leading into the restart?
Holdsworth is going to be start, so we'll have to see if we can get a jump on the rest of them as we go green.
We go green here at Phoenix. Holdsworth, he leaves no place of the track to chance. He takes the dog leg first time. We go 4 wide. Aidan Schultz is in there. Dave Douglas in the battle behind. Jason Holdsworth is actually going backwards towards the field. Doesn't like the heat up at the top, and he makes a pit stop first lap. John, what do you make of that?
Yeah, so just as before he hit the start line, he backed it down. So I think he may have got a start violation in that restart zone.
That's something that we're going to have to keep watch of as well, because they're new rules. But we're here, we're racing. Schultz, McKenzie, Douglas, they're out in front at the minute. But that mid-pack, and we say it a lot here, is where it's at. I think we're under caution.
Yeah, we've gone yellow for the first time tonight on lap 2, so it didn't take too long, but the behaviour there of Holdsworth on the start, I'm very sure that we've had our first penalty for a start violation.
Very first time that it's been implemented too, I do believe. So that's yeah, it's a little bit of a shame, but I think we get a look at that restart zone. It's not very long, is it, Jai? But you got to pick your time to sort of take it as I'm trying to get it. And it's just saying no, Pete, it's not there. So that's definitely not the restart zone, Jai. But it's not that long, is it? And you've only got probably about 50 to 80 metres from the time you've got control to the time, you know, everyone else can have a crack.
What's the go of the
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a more interesting restart zone here at Phoenix. The outside wall is a bit of false advertisement in my eyes, because it's quite a lot longer as we go past the restart zone here with all the Geico signage. So it does look quite large on that outside wall, but because it is on a mid corner, the painted zone on the inside is about 2/3 of the length kind of thing of the outside wall. So it's a little bit of false advertisement if you're up the track a little bit and looking at that outside wall, but definitely a hard restart zone being on the mid corner as well.
And what do you do here, being a 1 mile track? How would you take the sort of the restart? I know we just touched on the restart zone. The guys are talking about it in chat as we speak, but how would you sort of attack this one, Jai? We've seen Holdsworth already probably be one of the first victims to a penalty, but if you were leading this one, would you go early or go later on in the restart zone?
At this stage of the race, being on fresh tyres still, I'd probably go a little bit early because I've got the tyre grip there to be able to use, but definitely later on, if you are caught on old tyres, you'd probably want to go towards the latter of the restart zone when the track's a bit more straight.
We've seen it last week as well, that got Tom speaking there as well. Gives a shout out what the audio's like as well. Sounds a little bit different. I've got a new mic. Trying to balance everything, but it sounds all right. I think in my ears, I've adjusted my mic, but hopefully I'm not yelling at you. Hopefully you can hear Jai all right. But Aidan Shores is going to bring us the green next time round. Lap 5 of 180 under the first caution of the night, and something tells me it's not going to be the last, is it? But we got off good. We had a good couple of laps, but it's yeah, just got to settle down a bit, Jai, and click over them laps. And remember, there's only a couple of sets across the wall as well.
Yeah, that's right. There's only 3 sets over the wall tonight, so it's definitely going to be a bit of tyre conservation and deciding when to push as well. So yeah, we'll definitely have to see how that plays out as long with the fuel strategy as well.
Fuel strategy, tyres. That's what we like here at the 1 mile tracks. We were saying it about the 1.5 mile tracks last week. We've got a couple of 1.5 miles coming up as well in the next few weeks, so that's going to be great. And then probably mid-season we'll have another bash at Daytona and Talladega as well. So around $1,000 these guys can win if they take out some say impossible sort of treat, but the pace car's going to peel off here, and Aidan Shores is going to bring us the green and the new and the improvised restart zone. But they're all up close. Remember, post-race adjudication will come up after this on the Skypoynt Facebook page. Top 12 will be counted. And a couple of seconds, a couple of car lengths in between each other. All the guys look good. Aidan Shores is about to bring him the green. Dave Douglas, he wants to go with him as well. Down the inside. We've now reached the restart. We're on the green now. So about halfway through that restart zone, Aidan Shores still, again, rather chooses to take that dog leg. So nice the green and restart again, but good use of that restart zone from Aidan Shores a little bit further back. Skurlock starting to move down the middle, but down the yellow again. Jai.
Yeah, I just saw in the background there a couple of cars faced the wrong way in the dog leg. So it's definitely an interesting place as well, because as they get the green, they cross the start finish line and they all fan out using that dog leg as well. So it might have been a little bit of miscommunication there, or a bit of a fan out gone wrong.
It was unlucky there, wasn't it? I think I've got a replay here. We might have to roll on with it for a little bit, but this is just after the restart, which up on board was Shane Roth. And I see that he was having a little bit of drama off the restart, so board was 61. Restart here, gets a little bit of a tap with the 555. He goes round, he gets a little bit of a snag as well. And the other car as well, a couple of innocent bystanders there, Jai, but mainly them 2 or 3 vehicles were involved in that, and that's what brought out the caution. It was short-lived, wasn't it, that green period? But Aidan Shaw still leads Douglas and Gosley, but a little bit unlucky there for some of the other drivers, but only a few got caught up.
Yeah, it's definitely a shame for the 61 and also the 555 there, because both are actually on debut tonight. So definitely not the way that they wanted to start their campaign, but it's definitely some hard racing as well. So yeah, not the best way to start their campaign, but they'll be looking to make their way back up the field and hopefully get a good result on their debut.
Probably a bit of beginners jitters in the cabs at the minute for them 2 guys, but they'd be disappointed. But that's up for their crew chief as well to jump in their ear and say, look, mate, you're doing well. Bit of an incident, couldn't have helped it or whatever, and get in their ear and still push on. It's oval racing at its best. It's 1 mile racing, in fact. Anything can happen. You be there. You say it all the time, isn't it? You grab a mate, you grab a teammate, you grab anyone you can, stay in the draft, get it done. We're here at Phoenix, although it is a 1 mile track, Jai. The drafting's still key by the look of what I've seen so far. So I reckon just grab someone and get your ticket to the end and just hope that the luck comes your way and you get some lucky dogs and get some laps back. But early doors, lap 10 of 180 for any of these drivers.
Yeah, it's definitely not over this early in the race. There's so many ways you can get your lap back. If it's just strategy calls or getting the wave rounds or even putting yourself in that position to get the lucky dog, being the lead car that isn't on the lead lap at the same time. So there's definitely a long way to go. 170 laps left to go as we're about to complete 10. So it's definitely not over, and it's a long night. You can always make your way back.
So we're just about to go green there. I'll turn my mic up just a little bit more, I think. Hopefully that works. That's about as loud as I can go, but thanks to Skypoynt. I'm guessing that's Kylie there in the background. Thanks to everyone that's having feedback, but these guys, it's early doors, and we know now, or we know just watching this series, that it takes skill, but a hell of a lot of effort, and we'll make them audio adjustments as we go. But we're just about to go green here. Lap 11 of 180 here at Phoenix Skypoynt. NASCAR Trucks E-Series, the safety or the caution. The pace truck, they'll get it right one day, will peel off. Aidan Schulz once again will bring us to green. The restart zone is in check, is in play. That's the Geico or the Geico restart zone as we go side by side. 1 and 10 to take the green. Lap 11 of 80. Top 12 look all right. Second restart or third restart, including the start. There's that zone. Aidan Schulz. Will he go straight away? No mucking around. He went early. Aidan Schulz went. Brings us to green. Lap 11. Lap 12 of 180. Takes the dog leg again. A couple of drivers choose not to. And also that dog leg Jai. The inside guys, with the guys that choose to take the inside line, it's up to them to get back out on the truck. Dave Douglas car, or truck 10 rather. A good restart for him, but it's looking good up the front and also looking good in the middle. But Aidan Schulz, what a gap on the restart.
Yeah, definitely got a good jump there, and we've got Dave Douglas and Trent Gosley racing side by side as well for second place. So it's a very wide track and Phoenix is so unique with the track that it's actually being the wall, so you can use any part of the apron you see fit. There's definitely a lot of different lines as we go caution again.
So, well, we have been accustomed to this, haven't we? We've seen in the first couple of rounds that, you know, it has been a little bit stop-start. And if you're at the car one leading us to green, Jai, for, you know, this sort of start to the race, what would be going through your head? I'm going to grab him and see what he says, but just before we do, what would be going through your head? Out in front by, you know, a considerable margin for a long period of this race, and then you get another yellow. What would it be doing to your sort of race confidence?
Well, if I was Aiden and racing up front here, I'd be pretty confident. If he keeps getting the jumps on these restarts that he is, he's quite safe up the front, I feel. So he's got the whole track to use, and any line that he wants to take, it's got available for him. So definitely a very comfortable feeling at this stage.
Well, I'd say it'd probably be a little bit unnerving for me, but you've pretty much given me your race brain, and you've got a much better one than me. Aiden Shores, we got you here, mate. Bit of a stop-start here tonight. Is it sort of hampering your race confidence?
Not really, mate. Sort of expecting it. Wasn't expecting to be where I am at the moment, but still early doors, 15 into 180. I'm at the front though, so hi.
Nah, well, you made it here, mate. But what's the track feel like, and what's the lines feel like, and sort of the, you know, the feeling out there with everyone? It's a fairly packed field here again. Are you comfortable where you are?
I'd much rather be here than down the back, to give you my honest opinion, but how's the track feel? A bit early doors to tell yet. It'll be interesting to see what the likes of Davey and Trent and Stevie over the long run, when we get one, what they've got. So there's a lot to play out yet. I'm feeling comfortable, done a lot of testing. Obviously, round 3 didn't go my way after polling that one. So hopefully get a bit of redemption tonight in the top 10, but we'll see how we go. Well,
just before we go, 1 to green. Aiden, you probably won't say a word, but early or late in the restart zone this time?
We got 2 to green, so plenty of time, but mate, the restart zone's that short. I don't know. To be honest, I'm just trying not to make a mistake before I get to the restart zone, and then and wing it. But it'll be somewhere in the middle, I'd suggest, mate.
Good start, mate. Keep it up. 27.9 is your lap around last time. Have a good race, and hopefully we can talk to you on victory lane.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks, guys. Have a good call.
Aiden Shaw's currently leading this race. Fairly cool, calm, collected, isn't he, Jai? He seemed like he's got everything nailed.
Yeah, he definitely seems comfortable in where he's sitting and how he's talking at the moment. So there's not too much nerves in his voice at all. So definitely a comfortable position for Aiden up front at the moment.
Probably late in the restart zone is the call from our race leader at the moment. Lap 17 of 180. Could be a long night if we keep going the way we're going. The guys will get the word and sort of double file up. And I do apologise in the YouTube chat. Just if you ignore shit for long enough, it goes away. That's just in relevance to the YouTube. There's spammers there around all the chats, and there's just too many comments. They're spamming me, dude. And I can't get rid of them quick enough. But we're just about ready to go green once more. Aiden Shaw's third time lucky gets us to green. Will we have some green, some green racing here? He said he doesn't want to stuff it up before we go green. That's his worry. Dave Douglas again to his right-hand side. Kylie Rocks rather sends 100 stars. Cheers. Number 1 out in front is going to lead us to green. We're going to click over. Lap 18 of 180. We got 10% of the race done. Aiden Shaw's with a good restart against Dave Douglas, Trent Gosley, and most of the field take the dog leg. But once again, Jai, it's a nice good restart.
Yeah, definitely another good jump by Aiden there, and definitely waiting until the last minute to really put the pedal down. As I believe he went on the green flag, so he might be a bit cautious, seeing what happened on the start of this race as well, and not trying to make the same mistake.
I think that's what a lot of these drivers will be wanting to do, not to make the same mistake. They want to get through and get through nice and cleanly. Schulz still leads Douglas. Gosley, we've got a little bit of hustle and bustle a little bit further back. We've got Benson and Pritchard in a heat of a battle as we just see that Patton, I think, it wants to join the show, but high line or low line at this track, Jai, what you've seen so far, what would you be thinking too?
Definitely be trying to hug that yellow line at both ends of the racetrack and cut the dog leg while I've got the fresh tyres as well. So interesting to see that no one's elected to try and use the apron in turn 1 and 2 as well, which is available to use if they want to. So definitely getting a good feel for the truck at the moment and just taking it a bit easier.
Just clicking over the laps and getting your laps done, lap 21 on 180, we'll stay green for a little bit more. We'll jump on the back of Tom Pritchard. He's got Nigel Patton and Greg Spencer, so teammates found each other earlier on, and that's what you want to do is grab a mate. And Tom Pritchard, he's there in 8th position. He's got these guys in behind him, and then a whole field right behind them as we go a little bit further back. Jai, there's a battle here. This is a group of cars: Blackburn, Barber, Witcher, Wolf. These are the guys to look out for as the race progresses, because they're always wanting to be the dark horse, the guys that go to the end, aren't they?
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of a survival game, these trucks as well. So you definitely have to survive to get to the end of these races, and these guys are doing a pretty stellar job racing door to door at the moment. So definitely, yeah, it's survival and getting into your rhythm a bit.
Justin Witcher just go underneath the 5 machine of Andy Barber, and I think Wade Sheedy wants to go with him a little bit further back. Anderson and Wolf, they're having a good battle, but all in all so good. And I think if we go back to that 5 machine, he may be just pulling back a little bit to maybe go teammate searching.
Yeah, he's dropped 7 positions from the start, so he's letting these other guys in the trucks to run their own race, and Andy will be doing the same, and pretty much just run into a number and really he's a very calm and collected driver. He's got a very good race brain and knows when a situation gets a bit messy or looks like it's going to get messy, he'll back it down and at the same time saving his tyres, so he'll bring the fight back to him later on in the run.
Well, I did hear, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, especially talking to the super speedway master of Tom Pritchard and also the director of Skypoynt, which we're grateful of their series support. He said that it's more of a feeling thing, your gut feeling. If you feel something is a little bit unnervy, get out of there. Tom Pritchard, he's got guts all around him now, so he may have just had that gut feeling earlier on, because they're battling up the front, they're battling in the middle. Tom Pritchard got a little bit of clean air here with a couple of Pinnacle guys behind him, but I think it's just all about the gut feeling now. But we've been green for a little bit, like 26 of 80 of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series here at Phoenix, and Aiden Schulz comfortable out front.
Yeah, we're coming up to about lap 10 on this green flag run, so yeah, definitely it goes back to the whole survival thing, and these guys haven't raced around each other in quite a few other leagues, and this being run for as well of this league. You know who you can really trust and race around hard, and you also know who you probably can't race around as hard as well. So just definitely goes down to that gut feeling in who's around you.
And that's exactly right, as we see a very slow 85 machine of Tony Roffey, one of the Roffeys. They've shown us their talent. I don't know whether he's just letting people go, and might have tapped the ball there and there, but very slow car down on the apron. Good bit of sportsmanship just dropping below that the other guys get through. But, our lead, Aiden Schulz, got a big lead, hasn't he? About a 1.5 second. I know it looks a little bit more than that, but right now, I think if you look just a little bit further back, it's all heating up. But the truck won. That's he said it in the brief interview when we were under caution, Jai, that he'd much rather be here than in the middle or back there. And well, have a look at it. It's he's just pulling away now.
Yeah, he's got it out to about a 1.7 second lead over Douglas at the moment, but also in third place, Michael Skurlock. He's on a pretty big move at the moment. So yeah, Aiden would definitely be still comfortable out front and trying to just hit his marks and hit his numbers. And he's doing a stellar job as the gap just opened up to 2 seconds.
Michael Skurlock as well, and he's got a very fast driver of Skurlock in the 350 machine. He's right on the edge of him as well. So Skurlock, Williams, Gosley in this battle here just for the top 5. Skurlock up 5 positions from where he's, 12 positions where he started, and Fenton just behind this battle. They're also up 12, but this battle here, Stephen Williams is looking like he's just taking it easy, just sitting behind and saving that, bit of tyre wear and a little bit of fuel. And I suppose with this 75% fuel cap, long race, you got to support everything. But it looks pretty pedestrian here between these two, and I think it's going to change as the race goes on. But these guys, I think they're right onto the way we're going to run this race.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of like static out a bit now, and everyone's got a bit more room around them as well. So we're kind of just settling into a rhythm, but also with only 4 total tyre sets for the race, so the one they start on and 3 over the wall. Those early pace cars really did help these guys with their tyre life and their fuel life as well. So normally green flag run, you're probably looking at about 45 laps, but look for these guys to really extend it out to the 50 to 55 lap mark as well.
We'll have to take note of that. Lap 30 for that 180. We'll probably see pit stops in the next. You've got to say 20 laps. Those cautions probably did help it. Watching the battle, Michael Skurlock and Stevens there in the 3rd and 4th. A little bit further back is a battle, I think a little bit further back from here. Here's a good battle. I think Nigel Patton leads it with a bit of a gap back to Fenton and Crew. We got Pritchard, Spencer Malone, Roffey, Witcher involved in all that. So they're in the mid-pack, and that's where it's at. And let's crank it up and let's have a listen to these NASCARs around Phoenix. This is the mid-pack, and this is where the racing's at.
It's definitely amazing to watch and how many different lines these drivers are using here at Phoenix as well. It's definitely a healthy rivalry there, and these guys race quite a few leagues around each other as well, so they're not accustomed to each other's tactics, and yeah, probably definitely comfortable at racing around each other as well.
And Tom Pritchard, so Wade's up top left, sitting next to Aidan Schultz. get rid of my cursor there. Tom Pritchard down the bottom. Have a look at the faces while they're driving around here, Jai. We can't see what's happening on track just yet, but that's sheer concentration. That's how hard oval racing is at times.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of concentration on our lead space at Aiden there as well. So definitely not as easy as some might say, and yeah, definitely meaning business tonight.
They all look the business way. The struggles with his wheel, direct drive wheel.
Yeah, he's definitely moving up the field as he made a pretty aggressive move to get back to the high line before getting into the turn there. But while we have the mega wall up there, might be able to jump on board with Wade, both with his webcam and the in-truck, and just show the viewers how rough it is for Wade actually using that apron. Because I noticed every time he hit it, you could visually see how rough it was.
We can do that. We'll jump on board. So where is he? He's around about 87, 87% through the lap. We'll shrink these guys down and we'll have a look. No, that's not what I want to do. I want to put Wade to the top. There we go. We'll get there one day. Only been using it a couple of times, but let's have a look. Let's have a look at Wade Sheed. He's got a battle pack behind him as well, and let's have a look at this concentration, Jai, because I think this time of the race, well, I think it's the time where you'd be most worried, but the concentration. Oh, he fights the wheel too.
Yeah, so it looks to me it's very prominent with the bump going onto the apron, but not as bad coming back up. But also another interesting thing at the moment as well is that Wade's actually shifting in both ends of the racetrack as well, so that means he'll be going into third on entry and then going fourth quite early here, which goes back to the apron right there again. So definitely a bit of a bump there, and definitely will take a toll on the tyres, but the drivers themselves as well with that.
Yeah, it's good to get a little bit of a different shot at how different drivers take different lines and take different. Half of that, but the drivers, what I was trying to say is the drivers are on a different tyre and fuel strategy and different parts of the race as well, as we go 47 and 180. Green pit stops now, Jai, would have to be sort of coming into it, and you can see evidently on a couple of the drivers that their tyres are starting to give up the job.
Yeah, so definitely getting close to that first green flag stop. We're currently in P11, Justin Witcher in the 21 truck. He's actually come down pit road. He's the first driver to do so, and that was on lap 8. And it was only a 7-second stop, so I think he might have just topped up on a bit of fuel then, so he'll probably be looking to make it to around the lap 60 mark. So look for him to go a little bit longer than the rest of the guys here.
Yeah, I think we're going to see lots of fluid strategies as we're riding on board with Witcher. He's got Pritchard and Anderson behind him with a battle with him, sort of keeping an eye out throughout the race. So these guys, I think, are going to be the guys battling for whatever position at the end. It's too early to say which position, whether it's be first or what it's doing at last. I think he's taking the dog leg and holding nice and low, because he is somewhat slower as we. The race pace is a little bit slower, I should say. Skurlock and just makes that pass down, and Skurlock and Gosley, I think we're focusing on right now. They've been having a red hot crack in there. This is the top 5 as well, as we see a slow car into the wall. I'm not too sure who that was. Joy.
Yeah, no, definitely getting a little bit higher than he would have wanted to there. But as we've still got 20 trucks on the lead lap, so as we go caution as well, so that was a bit of well timing, and at the moment it would be the 69 truck of Nigel Seidel that would be in lucky dog contention for this caution.
Well, that's where some of the drivers welcome these caution periods. Some of the drivers dislike them. Whenever you get the lucky dog candidate, it always brightens your day, doesn't it? When you think, oh, bugger it, I've stuffed it up, I've hit a wall, or I've got sent. Or there's a million different scenarios where you would welcome the lucky dog, but that's one of probably quite a few people that were grateful of it, and so many people now take advantage of the caution period, including the race leader, or was the race leader, Aidan Schulz. He's in the lane. Dave Douglas, Williams, Gerlock, Gosley, Kosh, Patton, Malone. So they all come in. Very busy pit lane. I believe we've got the replay ready to go. I think Paul Regney was something to do with that. But let's have a crack at it and see if we can get this. This is pretty much, I think, what brought out this caution period. I think Paul Regney was involved. Was he in a slow car at this point against the wall? Not too sure, but that was the last sort of thing. He jumped to pits before we went yellow.
I think we're on board Shane Groffey there. 61.
Shane Groffey, so wrong person, Pete. Might have to get another look at that, but we'll go back live and I'll try and dig that replay up a bit. But I think that may have been that car up against the high line, Jai. I think that's what's brought us under caution.
Yeah, it's definitely a high possibility, and it was a good timing for a lot of these drivers as we were coming up to green flag pit stops as well, because obviously it's a lot better to stop under caution and minimise the risk of maybe making a slight mistake getting on or off pit road as well. Yeah, definitely timing, and the lead that Aidan had over David Douglas of 4 seconds is back to nothing. So definitely bring the field back to Aidan and see if he can keep up his good form and get another one of his good restarts that he's had so far tonight.
I'm not too sure if it makes it a little bit easier or a little bit harder in the restart zone, but makes it what it does, especially for us watching on, is clarifies it a little bit more when they can go, when they can't go. There was like a million different scenarios of what's fair, what's right, what's just, what's in the spirit. But iRacing has brought that into the oval scene, and hopefully maybe we get the acceleration zone into the circuit scene as well. But I like the introduction of the restart zone, and we'll get probably a few cars, just get a couple of wave arounds here while we're riding under caution. But fuel and tyres is sort of, that strategy, Jai, has sort of played into their hands with the timing of the caution flags, hasn't it not?
Yeah, it definitely has. It's really kept everyone on the same strategy and really bring the field back together as well. So Phoenix is probably the most affected track on the iRacing server with this restart zone, because as we see the pace car pull off here, it's actually turn 2 the pace car pulls off. So it's such a long time that the pace car is actually off the track and it's down to that leader. So in quite a lot of officials, you used to see the leader go as soon as the pace car went off the track, where now they've really got to wait to that restart zone. So it definitely makes it a lot better in the interest of racing.
Aidan Schulz yet again to lead us to green, lap 55 at 180. Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, round number 4 here at Phoenix. We're back underway, and again, he didn't leave nothing to shy. As soon as he got the go-ahead, he went about it. Schulz, Williams, Douglas, good restart, and in the middle again, that's where we've been watching. Trent Gosley, Skurlock, Patton, Kosh, And look at Skirley round the outside. He's going to be left a little bit high and dry. I thought he's going to go into the wall there, but they all merged like a zipper. Good to see. And different lines too. Again, high and low seeming working for some, but not all.
Yeah, it's just, especially where the driver's comfortable at the moment, but you see a few drivers really making use of the dog leg and really using the apron just after the start-finish line, and other drivers aren't so comfortable, especially with that bump, so they would elect to stay above that yellow line and on the actual racing surface. So definitely a lot of multiple lines being used tonight.
We've got Tristan Koch. He wants to go a little bit wider, I think, in the 550 cars. Skurlock's there. And a couple of guys take the infield, and I think Koch may be a little bit slow as we go caution, lap 58 at 180. Not too sure what happened there, Jai, but a few cars involved.
Yeah, I think Tristan may have just overdrove the corner a little bit there and gone a little bit higher than he may have wanted to there, but definitely got the car or the truck rotated and back on the power quite quickly as well. So
let's have a look. I think I've got it here. Darren McKenzie was involved in a little something, and you know, and this is, I think, what's brought out the oh, there we go. Found that camera. I didn't want to. 0-2 turned around. A little bit of contact by teammates. I'm not too sure there, Joe. We'll go back and have another look at that because I'm not too sure. A little bit of teammate contact, I believe.
yeah, it definitely looked like a bit of friendly fire on the first glance there. So as we follow them high above here, coming into turn 3, and
Big
just
net code.
ran out of room, and a few other trucks just wrong place, wrong time, and not getting checked up in time to avoid. So definitely a shame for a few drivers there, and a bit of a shame for D-Mac there as well, because I think he may have been racing for the lucky dog position.
Oh, and that's unfortunate too, because you don't have to be involved in the incident, but if you get a 1X from the incident, that happens to bring out the caution, and you're there ready to go fighting for that lucky dog position, you won't get it. He was a little bit of contact there, and how unprofessional was it from me, Jai? Straight up, that was net code. I don't believe I've seen contact there on the chopper cam of that little bit of contact there, but yeah, I would call straight up net code. I do not want to benefit any of the race official crew that will be in later on to organise that and get it all done and dusted for the night. But it was down the inside. But did you see a little bit of contact? I'll just bury myself a little bit further, shall I?
Oh, there's definitely a little bit of contact as well, but those boys, they raced around each other and they will pretty much just take it on the chin, that incident, and pretty much just carry on kind of thing. So won't be too much, but definitely not what you want from teammates.
You wouldn't want to be involved in their radio chatter at the minute. It could be a little bit how's it going, but nothing in it, I don't think. Shaw's will lead us away again, and I think this will probably be around about that fifth restart, I think, Jai, that we've had the same sort of person, which is Aiden Shaw's car, truck number 1, bring us to green again. I think now, just to throw a little bit of a curveball, I would probably be just holding off that second or two and maybe just trying to serve someone a little bit of a penalty to check them up a little bit. But I suppose time will tell. And Jai, bring us to green here, mate. Lap 62, we're going to click over at 180.
Yeah, so we've just clicked over 1/3 distance here, and the difference from this restart as well is we've got Stevie Dub in the outside pole at the moment with Dave Douglas going third. So we'll see if Douglas can go with Aiden on the apron here on this restart. See what Stevie Dub can do as well as we come to the Geico restart zone now. And we get the green flag. So awesome start by Aiden again, and really good job using that apron, like we've seen so far as well. So fan out and come back together.
They They've done a good job to get through, and Aidan Schultz with a good start again. Dave Douglas with him, Steve Williams with him. The mid-pack is where we've been concentrating throughout this evening with Gosley, Patton, Spencer. I think Skurlock's up a couple in a battle with Steve Williams. So this battle reignited again. N4 battled position number 4th and 5th, and a couple of the Pinnacle Esports boys behind him, Spencer and Patton. So mid-pack. I say it all the time, but that's pretty much my most constant comeback to call him, because it is, isn't it? Really, mid-pack's where it's at. Have a look at it right now.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of excitement and jostling for position. Definitely still evident of all the different lines that they're using as well to try and get their advantage and over their competitors.
Aidan Schultz still leads the way with quite a handy lead of 1.15. It looks a little bit more to that. He's got Skurlock behind him, the 350 machine, and Dave Douglas behind him, and Steve Williams with a run. Have you look at this car, truck 98 up the inside. He's in the draft. Truck 10 takes the dog leg, or a little bit of it. That's probably just taking a little bit of a nibble, as what we've seen. You seem to be able to take a lot of that dog leg, Jai, but not too much difference in speed. And this part of the race up 65 to 180, we're almost there. Now Williams wants to have a move down the inside.
Yeah, we saw there with Douglas just taking a little nibble at that apron. Stevie Dub was able to really hold with him. So as mentioned before, the track limits are the inside and the outside wall here at Phoenix. So if you're going to take the apron, it's probably best to go all the way to that pit exit wall. Because if you don't take enough of that apron, the truck that stays up against the outside wall, and it's a little bit faster speed-wise. So if you don't get away from too much on the apron, they'll get back to you by turn 1.
Stephen Williams with the big head of steam coming up behind Michael Skurlock for 2nd and 3rd. Now we're just talking about this battle that was for 4th and 5th position. It's starting to reignite once again, and they've stepped away from Dave Douglas. Dave Douglas was sitting in second quite comfortably before, and these guys now, Skurlock and Williams. I wonder if Douglas has got a little bit poorer tyres, but Stevie Williams, he looks like he's on a charge right now. Currently sitting in 3rd, as I see in the webcam. Wade really fighting with his truck. We'll get back to him in a little bit, but this battle, they've started to just progress up the field. Maybe perhaps they're working together.
Yeah, they've definitely raced a lot around each other in various leagues on the iRacing server, so they're very acclimatized to each other's style and racing, and definitely a possibility of working together to try and pull back Aidan Schultz. So they might be just thinking that they might have to try something a bit different to stop Aidan running away from the field as we saw in that first long green flag run.
He's doing the same again. We got a little bit of a move within teammates Nigel Patton and Greg Spencer. I thought there was a little bit of move from Spencer, but they all pull in line again. But these teammates, they're keeping it together. In the mid-pack, they're happy where they are. Up 27 positions, Justin Witcher, mover and shaker as we stand, as we go up 70 and 180. That really has got bugger all to do with this race, but these guys on streak now. Jai, that's exactly what I'd be doing. Truck 90 and 29 are Patton and Spencer. Looking over the laps nicely. Lap 7 to 180. We still know they've got to come down pit road maybe once or twice more.
Yeah, there'll still be a few more pit stops in this race, I reckon. But yeah, definitely the Pinnacle boys are doing really well with Nigel in 5th, Greg in 6th, but also Witcher. He's a part of the Pinnacle team in 7th place as well. So those teammates are all line astern and found each other quite early on in this race. So they'll be definitely trying to work together and try and make their way forward a little bit more than they have already.
Well, the truck 21 of which he probably is wearing the right livery. That's probably on my end, but we just seen, I thought was going to be a position change between 5th and 6th, the Patton and Spencer. So I think maybe they're just using each other's speed, and I think we see in IndyCar a lot, Jai, that who was that? The very slow car down underneath, only just barely got past without incident, but these guys pull away. And I think I was just talking about someone there, Jai, but I think maybe some of these guys are on different pit strategies. Oh no, hold on, pause that, hold it, I've got it. The slingshot effect we see in an IndyCar. Come on, Pete, get it together. The slingshot effect we see in IndyCar, can that be applied here as we're seeing the Pinnacle boys somewhat apply that?
I'm not completely sure here in Phoenix actually if that would work quite well. Just being a 1 mile track, and it's quite short, so at anything 1 mile, obviously the straights aren't very long as we go caution again. Yeah, definitely the slingshot drafting is a thing and can work in the trucks. Just not too sure if it would work here at Phoenix, but looks like the boys are definitely giving that one a crack.
Brendan Cusack, I think, was a part of that. He had to jump back to the pits, and I think that's what's brought out the caution. We'll go back and have another look at a Skypoynt action replay and see just what went down. This is the last incident that happened on my end, Brendan Cusack, so he's rolling at this point. He's only just left pits as well, so we might have another look of him leaving pit lane at all. Could have started there as he stops just below that yellow line rather, and bringing out the caution. So this is Brendan Cusack just leaving pits. Maybe he had a problem with his crew chief and didn't fix any of the damages, but I think that picks up on the last bit of replay we watched there. But Brendan Cusack, I don't think he ever got up to speed after his pit stop drive, because I think that's what brought out this caution here.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see as we stay on board here, and pretty much all we're looking for here is if he may have blown an engine, as he's got quite a little bit of damage on the front of that truck. So as he's coming back in the final corner here, so he must have done a couple of laps before coming to a stop, but definitely a bit of damage on the front of that truck, so quite possibly could have blown a motor if the water temp was a bit warm.
I can see too that last lap, or the replay that we're watching on now, is quite pedestrian, so he pulls out of the way and gets a caution, but you can see he's very under speed, so he knows this truck has damage. He's just trying to push on, but unfortunately the engine or something with that truck gave up the business. He's pulled off and pulled away and brought out the caution, unfortunately, or fortunately. Lap 77 of 80, Jai. Would this be helping you if you were the leaders right now?
Not too sure, as we didn't get a very long green flag run, and it was only roughly about 15 to 20 laps, so but what it's done for this race so far is it's actually split a lot of this strategy up. So we see a lot of the guys pitting on lap 75, where the others who have elected to stay out under this caution stopped on lap 52. So we've got the two prominent strategies now, and we'll have to see how that plays out a little bit more. But we've got Stephen Williams going to take the green flag on the restart in first position, followed by Spencer and Patton and Witcher. So the Pinnacle boys are definitely looking strong at this stage.
They're pushing up through the field, aren't they? They're going to we're going to have someone new take the green this time in Stephen Williams, as you just mentioned. Top 5 also are on a different strategy. I can see as I flick through my timing, we've probably really only got about 2 different strategies. One, there's people that have stayed out, and one of the people that have pitted for this time round. Remember, only a couple of sets over the wall. Tyres is going to be a thing. 6th caution. We're about to go to green. Steve Williams alongside Greg Spencer. Witcher and Patton there as well. So the Pinnacle boys are working as a crew, working as a flock, and see if they can get their team over the line. Steve Williams first different driver to bring us to green here, and he will do so on the 6th caution. Lap 78 of 180, the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E-Series, as we're around about 80%. So the restart zone is coming up. And let's see, so a little bit of a gap there. Remember, top 12 has got to be within 2 car lengths. They're in the restart zone. They left. Williams, Patton, Spencer. I think the car, the sort of the distance between cars might come into to play here. But here, if we look down the inside, the car, the truck 550 of Greg Spencer and Nigel Patton puts himself in between of these Pinnacle boys. The Pinnacle boys wouldn't like it, but he would as we go caution again, lap 79.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a strange restart there. The outside pole was sitting back a little bit, and then seemed to get caught napping there as well, which may have checked up a few of these drivers. So definitely not the formation that we've had in the previous restarts. So we'll have to see how that one results.
We've got nothing that pretty much brought out that yellow flag. Rather, I think it would probably have to be the trucks at the sort of mid to rear battle pack on the restart. But I think that restart may have been a bit questionable. But yeah, not too sure. But 100 laps to go here at Phoenix. How's it been so far? Obviously, take away this little bit of a stop-start. How are you sort of seeing it, Jai, with the racing or the green racing that we have had?
Yeah, it's definitely a case of stop-start tonight here at Phoenix. But also, like, if they get through the first couple of laps, they kind of find their own room out on the track as well. And we've seen quite a lengthy green flag run as well. I think the first proper green flag run was upwards of 30 laps. So definitely a case of finding a bit of space on the track and really settling into your own rhythm and a rhythm around the guys you're racing as well. So they can get through the first couple of laps. They seem to have a bit of a green flag run after that.
Lap 81 of 180, so we just ticked under 100 laps to go, 99 in fact. You would still think the guys would have to stop 2 more times after we get going green.
Yeah, look, it's looking like you could make it home if you stop now, and then once more. And obviously all these caution laps are helping the boys out with both fuel and tyres, and obviously you're not burning up your tyres as much going at a slower pace and using less fuel as well. So it definitely extends the current stint on tyres and fuel, and also it more importantly saves your tyres for later on in the race if we do get later cautions or even a green white checker. So definitely saving your stuff and looking still to survive and get to the end before you really put the hammer down and go for broke, as I say.
Lap 82 at 180, if the caution come out, if you're behind the wheel at this stage of the race, would you welcome it, or would you just want it to bugger off and get some green racing? But as a driver, Jai, what would you like right now? Just to have a little bit of a rest as we sort of hit the halfway mark, or would you rather be racing?
Well, being lap 82 of 180 and knowing that if I stop now, I'd only have to stop once more to get home. I'm a pretty big strategist, and I quite often I'll do the reverse strategy. So pitting at the earliest stage possible to make it home on that certain amount of stops. So I'll definitely be welcoming it at this number of the race, but a few of these drivers still electing to stay out, especially these top 5, because if they pit now, they'd find themselves well down the pack, and track position looks like it's playing quite a big part here tonight.
Track position is definitely playing a part. We've seen now this will be our second driver to bring us to green as we're about halfway around. The guys all form up, and this bit of the race has been something to watch as well. We've watched it enough of the times. Caution 7, I do believe. Lap 83 of 180. Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series. Williams about ready to bring us through to the Geico restart zone. And he doesn't leave any time again. So he goes early, but they all go with him this time, Jai. The Skypoint guys have found each other, as have the Pinnacle guys. Let's hope it's a green lap racing. Here we go. Brilliant back, Kosh, Richard Spencer, all pit around about the same time, but a nice, good, clean restart. And as we watch our eyes and feel our eyes on a little bit further back, the mid-pack, it's starting to turn itself on. But another green restart, but I think we're yellow again, and we are, Jai. So maybe I should stop saying clean restart.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of formation coming to that restart than the previous one. But yeah, it's caution after caution, and as they say, cautions do breed cautions, and it's beginning to be quite evident here at Phoenix.
Well, look at me go. I just found the restart cam that I've edited, so we'll get that next time we go green. So maybe that's just a sign, but we've got Andy, I think, talking across comms as well, just keeping everyone up to date with what's happening.
And if it helps internally.
Yeah, the admin team at Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series, it's quite nice, and they're pretty much always on top of it. So Andy being a big part of running this league and doing the amazing job that him and Tom and the rest of the boys involved in this league do. He'll probably just be on the comms and just reminding everyone just how much of the race they do have left, and just maybe calm it down a notch so they can get some green flag running, because at the end of the day that's what we want, and we want to be running under green, and it can turn into a very long night. So maybe just a friendly reminder just to back it down and remind the drivers just to get into their rhythm.
You can see some of the drivers now having a bit of a rest and having a bit of a breather. It looks like we've won the green. Still a couple of cars peeling off into the pit lane, and Williams is going to bring us to green again. And still a bit of chatter on the radio again. So we've still got quite a few people on the lead lap too, Jai. Which now let's hope that we get some green racing, because when we have got green racing, hasn't it? It's been entertaining. The guys that are battling, well, they've been in different groups, and Holdsworth now, he just peels out a pit and probably left at the right time too, just right in front of the pace car. But I'll let you bring them to green when we go around again, Jai. But stop start, a couple of wave rounds happening. Up 87 to 180, we get green. Well, we're going to get excited.
Yeah, it's definitely hoping for a longer green flag run, as we saw a bit earlier on in the race. But just a bit of an update on Jason Holdsworth. He's actually 46 laps down. He had quite an incident early on in this race, and had to spend about half an hour repairing the truck. But he's back out there, and he'll be looking to collect as many points as possible, and just turn a few laps and get hopefully a few more positions back by the end of it. But definitely a bit of bad luck for Jason Holdsworth tonight.
Well, we just know how quick the Nitro boys are. Holdsworth is coming off a good race last week as well, so shame for him to be that amount of laps down. But Williams is going to bring us to green once more. Patton, Witcher, Spencer, Roffey, Gosley, Schulz is in there as well. Pritchard, Sheedy, Barber, they're all in the top 10 at this stage of the race. They're all in for a hunt, but I can say now, if you're on the lead lap, I think there's a good chance for anyone, as I think we may even see a big one happen towards the end of the race. The pace car's peeled off, Jai. It's all yours. Bring us the green.
Yeah, so we got Stevie W leading the field back to the green once more with Nigel Patton on the outside, and the pinnacle pair of Witcher and Spencer on the second row here. So we'll have to see how early in this zone Stevie W goes, as they should be coming into shot any second now. And there he goes, and he goes about halfway, so back under green to start lap 89. So doesn't lose the apron, as we've seen the leader actually take advantage of on every restart since. So but still gets a good jump and holds the lead over Patton, Witcher and Spencer, with Trent Gosley running out top 5.
And a little bit further back as well, we've got a battle. Wade Sheedy's involved, Pritchard's involved. We've got Reese May and Andy Barber involved as well off that restart. We've been wandering around just outside the top 10 for the whole night. The truck 96 has got a big run as he takes the dog leg down the inside, and he wants a big crack as that as well. I think that may just be the truck 4 of Trent Gosley. But then here comes Wade Sheedy. But these guys here really turned it on. Skurlock a little bit further back where he would want to be, but he's starting to push on now. But this battle inside and just outside the top 10, starting to push on. Lap 90 of 180, we can now say we're over halfway.
It's definitely shaping up to be a very good race. As we focus on Douglas and Skurlock here, they're actually the two with the freshest tyres at this current stage as well. So they'll be definitely looking forward to make up a few more positions and make their way back to the front and back.
Oval racing at its best. You just keep there, you stay there, you stay positive. You don't wreck it, you keep it clean. You can go a lap down or two and you'll get it back. Andy Barber takes the dog leg. It's going to chew a little bit of tyres, but it will at this time of the race give you a little bit of track position, because that's all about buying your time. It starts at race 1. The race really doesn't begin until probably around about lap 150, 160 out of 180 here tonight. But Steve Williams out in front. Justin Witcher is just dropped off a little bit, or should I say quite a bit. But these Pinnacle boys, they're pushing and pushing hard. Aiden Schulz is up there as well. These guys, they're not letting off the throat.
Yeah, we see Stevie W getting quite a bit of a gap now over the 21 of Witcher, but after Witcher from second all the way down to about 12th place is only separated by a couple of seconds as well as we go caution once more.
Ninth caution of the night, lap 94 of 90. One of the Roffies down there, I think it's Shane Roffey, had a lot of black smoke coming out the back of his engine. That, well, is an engine expiration, probably the end of his night. Let's see what happens. Gets a little bit loose by himself. Lucky for the drivers behind him. Hits the wall hard. Blows an engine. Truck 61, end of the night.
Yeah, definitely be a bit of a lengthy repair, but as long as the truck's still firing, you can repair it. Be roughly about that half-hour mark. So definitely not the result that he would have been looking for on debut, but still some points to possibly grab.
What I've got, what I'm seeing, and you, for everyone watching at home, can't see it either, and you, in fact, sitting virtually beside me, can't see it, is we got the webcams up, and I'm having a look, and they're all smiles, they're all laughs, and I tell you, I don't know, I probably would have had a little bit of a different mindset. Stop, start, hard to get in the rhythm, but the race is going pretty nicely. And Tom, we just brought you in, mate. Because I noticed it's all fun and games. It's all smiling in the webcams. A bit stop, start here tonight, but how is it, mate? Hard to get concentrated. We're quite a lengthy way through the race.
This clown bloody Sheedy behind me as well, giving me touch-ups, and man, who knows what he's up to. But yeah, he's trying to stick his nose wherever he can, which is making for an entertaining couple of laps here. But I think I just got in trouble for swearing over the intercom, because I was getting a bit of a feel up from the behind, and I told Mr. Sheedy what way that he should stick it.
Well, it's been pretty good. It's been a pretty good race, and it's good to see that you're all having a good amount of banter in there. And, well, Tom, just before we let you go, the lights are still on, so we're about 2 to green, I think. Director of Skypoynt, mate, putting up $1,000, and, you do good on super speedways. 1 mile, 1.5 miles. How do you like them being put into the mix for the championship?
Yeah, this isn't my favourite type of track, got to say, but where my goal tonight is, man, if I could steal a top 5, I'd be laughing. But yeah, we just got to see how we go. I'm not the fastest of the guys around here. I'm just kind of trying to hold on. But man, it looks really fun up here. There's plenty of action. Hopefully, we can get a bit of green running, and these safety cars can fade a bit for the last half of the race here.
Well, don't write yourself off, mate. Up one from where you put it in quali. You're still sitting with the top 10. The top guys are going hammer and tong. We could see a famous Talladega finish with people finishing on their roof and all that kind of stuff yet. It's hopefully you get your wish with some green running, mate. But sitting in 8th, you're doing a good job. We'll wish all the best with the team, mate. Hopefully we talk to you on victory lane.
Thanks, boys.
Pritchard, Southern Stars there. Jai is bloody cool, calm, collected again as the lights come off on the pace truck. We're just about ready to go to green. But what do you make of that, mate? They're really composed too and having a lot of fun out there tonight.
Yeah, definitely smiling and laughing away, and a few little cheeky antics under the pace cars as well, and bit of fun being had as well. So definitely not too phased, and definitely in a calm mindset as we come up to the restart zone to restart the race after our 9th caution of the night.
9th caution, 97 laps of 180. We watch him pass the restart zone camera. We jump on board with Steve Williams. What a good restart for him. Nigel Patton went with him and Witcher as well, so you can know straight up that they've counted themselves down. That's what you do on restarts. You count your mates down. Aiden Schultz around the outside. He wants to have a crack at Rocky and Spencer. Another good restart. I don't know why I keep saying it. Williams, Patton, Witcher, Schultz and Spencer. Have a look at these guys as they take to green.
Yeah, definitely racing very close, and Aiden making his way back up to the pointy end of the field as he was there for so long at the start of the race as well. So we're about to complete lap 99 of this race, and definitely Aiden making his way up the field as he's looking to the outside of Witcher, as Spencer's going to look to the inside of him into turn 3 and 4 here. So definitely racing close and good racing, and a few drivers charging forward.
You definitely got to have the run on the inside, the run on the outside, but if you want to take it, you need someone to push you. You need someone to drag you along. Aiden Schultz ducks in down on the inside. He wants to see the truck. Well, I think that's Nigel Patton or Greg Spence just get held out there. He thinks different of it. He jumps in between. He's running in 4th. He's doing a good job. Justin Witcher up 31 positions, sitting there in 3rd. His teammate Nigel Patton, he's up 15 positions there, sitting 2nd and 3rd. But Stevie Williams off the restart, he's got a nearly half a second lead. 101 out of 180. The leaders are starting to check out, and let's hope this is a green running from Gaze. A little bit further back, they're hustling though.
Yeah, definitely got a few laps under their belt now, so they're starting to settle in. Steve going down to 0.6 of a second lead, so he's slowly just stretching his legs at the moment, but it's definitely quite a big advantage here tonight, starting on pole and restarting on the pole and getting that important jump. Kind of just running away from the field a little bit, you can really set the pace for this race.
As we've got who's that? Greg Spencer and I think Witcher alongside each other. Reese May and Craig Roffey alongside each other. Wade Sheedy wants to take the dog leg and get in advantage of that. But look at this, Skurlock, we spoke about him. He's got a good run, truck 350. You can't miss it, to be honest. He backs out of it. He had the run in that, Jai. He can sense something happening as they go two abreast with the battles happening ahead of him. But Skurlock, he had a run. He pulls out of it with these guys as we go yellow again, Jai.
Yeah, it's definitely a very smart racer, and just backed it down a bit. Obviously, didn't quite like what he saw, but he is on fresher tyres than a lot, so maybe just let the guys in front pan out and get back single file rather than trying to take it 3 wide, and just get them one at a time and work his way out that way. But definitely strong showing by Skurlock sitting in P9 at the moment.
We've got a very busy pit lane as well, and just before that, which these drivers are probably going to come to the top of the tray anyway, and I was just about to mention that Reese May, Michael Skurlock, Dave Douglas, and also Jason Wolfe, well, they pitted later. They pitted on lap 80, 94 for Fenson. So this lap 94, he's only 10 laps on. Henry Fenson is in a box seat here. But those guys that pitted on lap 80, they're the first ones to come in from the guys that pitted on around about lap 52, I do believe. So
What's your dog park tonight?
I'm not too sure, Jai. What's a number where we can start feeling certain about how this race is playing out? Because right now, roll the dice, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's looking like by the pit times that a lot of the drivers will be on their third set of tyres at the moment. A few have been on them for a little bit, and the rest of the field seem to be going on them now. So they've only really used half their sets of tyres and saving that all-important set for late on. So if we do go green, you'll be looking at around like 135 to be able to definitely make it home without any cautions or any stoppages and fuel saving antics. So definitely, yeah, 135 is the number to get to at the moment.
That's a great number, I think, and that's what we're going to see people aim to get to. We're still quite a few laps off that one. The pace truck lights are still on. That means probably at least 2 to green. Reese May is going to bring us to this one. So we've only seen, this will be a third different driver, I do believe, bring us to green, Jai. It's been only another couple of drivers, Schulz and Williams, I do believe, but third driver to bring us to green under 10 cautions. So, over our 10 cautions is probably more relevant. So we've had the same boys just slip down a little bit, but I think that's all to do with pit strategy. But at this stage of the race, would you just try and keep doing what we're doing if you were leading us to green, Jai, or try and throw something different as we're, well over halfway?
Well, focusing on our leader at the moment, Reese May, is actually up 35 positions, so he may not have been far enough up the field to actually watch the other drivers take the green. So he may have seen other drivers and how they've done it, or he might be kind of going into it a bit blind here. But definitely with the restart rule activated, and such a long trip from when the pace car goes into that restart zone as we saw the initial start of the race, possibly give out a penalty for the start infringement. So it's definitely a unique rule in tyre racing, and it can definitely catch you out. So we'll see how Reese May takes it on, and he's got Sheedy on the outside as well, with two very quick drivers on the move, with Skurlock and Douglas starting in the second row there.
And also, it wasn't over-exaggeration what you guys were saying in chat earlier, that the pit lane is half the oval. It almost is about halfway. The caution or the pace truck peels off, and the guys are ready to hear. Let's see who's going to take it. Reese May, Wade Sheedy, that across. You got Skurlock there going down the inside. But good start, Reese May. But Skurlock's with him. We did say he's playing a little bit of a quieter game, taking the higher line as well. His tyres will be better for him, but Wade Sheedy's keeping with him. Lost a couple of positions off the start. Dave Douglas is there as well. Oh, a bit of a moment there, I think, for Jason Wolf.
Yeah, a bit squirrely off the corner there, but yeah, definitely Reese May on the restart of the older tyres slid up the track a little bit. So we'll have to see what happens later on in that one. But he, yeah, definitely a lot of push on the restart trying to get the jump.
Skurlock leads May, Sheedy, Douglas, Aiden Schulz. I did say, joking around, that I'd call him that one day, but I did unintentionally, as we see those cars, or trucks rather, 2x2, 21, 503, and a couple more go round. Skurlock leads them around. Dark Horse, as I called him, 70 laps to go. Pretty good restart. And the mid-pack, they're really close. Remember, we've got different strategies. Everything is at play. 70 laps to go. Skurlock leads them away. Let's crank it up. And let's shut up for a bit, Jai. But how good do these trucks sound around Phoenix? Lap 110 out of 180. This is NASCAR trucks at its best. How good do NASCAR trucks out here at Phoenix? We got 2 wide, we got 3 wide, we got single line astern. The mid-pack is where it's at. That's what we've been saying all night. Skurlock leads May, Shields, Sheedy, Williams is your top 5. We've got everything at it. People taking the dog leg, people not taking the dog leg, people on different strategies. Guys, the top 3 are pushing, the middle are pushing, even the rear of field are pushing. Great night of racing, 114 and 180.
Yeah, the urgency of this race is starting to heat up a little bit. As for the first time tonight, we haven't really seen the leader skip away too much. So definitely the intensity is coming up a little bit, and the smiles might not be as much at the moment. But yeah, definitely concentrating and racing hard, and hopefully we can keep playing as well.
Keep the green flag running. I tell you, there's a group of guys that would like to keep the green flag running, and there's a group of guys that are hoping for a little bit of a safety car. There's probably about 4 or 5 drivers yet to make another bid, and you can see a little bit of movement there around the action where we're seeing Sheedy, Spencer, Patton, they're all there. Pritchard is there as well. He wants to take the low line. I think these guys, because I can see on my timing, you can see it as well, Jai. These guys, these drivers around, there's 2 different strategies going on, but they're in the one battle. That makes it difficult as they try and go 3 wide.
Yeah, the field's really split half and half at the moment with the guys that last stopped on lap 80 and the guys that came under that recent caution. As we have another caution as the pace track comes out and joins the other trucks on the track. But definitely a split strategy, and there was enough green flag laps in the split of the strategy to actually make quite a bit of a difference, as we saw the fresh tyres coming through the field quite quickly. As I reckon that pace car might be done for speed soon.
Yeah, that pace car is going to get the checkered flag and win the race at this rate as we head into, I do believe, the 11th caution of the night, and it is, and Shores will lead us, and Skurlock, Williams, May. How would you take the race, Jai, being in a group of trucks in the midst of a battle, but you know the guys in front of you are pit later, and you know the guys behind you, the guys in front of you pit earlier, and you know the guys behind you are pit later. So you're sort of almost a wedge, aren't you? Whether you've got to keep up with pace, but you can't overtake these because you know they're slower. Talk us through, as a driver's sort of sense, how do you sort of not concentrate on that, all that stuff that's going through your head to get through to the end of the race, like these guys would be thinking of now? How do you do that and still hit your marks and be competitive?
Yeah, it's a really tough question there, because it's really hit and miss. Because on one hand, you know you have the fresh tyres, you know you're got a lot more grip than say the guys in front of you that stayed out under the cautions and everything. So you on one hand you know you're quicker than them, you know you got more grip, but on the other hand, if you wait too long, it kind of evens out a bit more, so you don't have as big of an advantage over those other drivers as well. So it's really picking your time to go and not waiting too long, but not going hammer and tong and trying to drive through everyone in the first couple of laps and really burning your stuff up by doing so as well. So it's yeah, it can go really both ways. You don't want to take too long, but you want to be cautious at the same time.
And is it evident out there as a driver, if you're driving there, you're just hitting your marks, the race has gone perfectly, you're sitting in 5th, you know your strategy, everything's cool, you get a caution, you have a time to have a drink, you know, have a durry if you want. Obviously we're in sim racing, can't do it in real life, and you're driving along and we go to green and you know the guys have got, you know, worse off tyres than you in front of you. How does that go through your head? Do you have is it just discipline that just pulls you back and be like, hang on a minute, I've got better tyres but I don't want to wear it out?
Well, yeah, it's really thinking about the long game. As we saw early on in the race, when we went to the driver wall, the first time we went to the driver wall, we saw Aiden Schultz full concentration mode, pretty much not blinking, making sure he's hitting his marks. But then a bit later on, when we crossed to him next, I think it was 14th at the time, and he was sitting back having a laugh with the other drivers on the webcam, and even having that cheeky doughy that you mentioned that we can't really do in real life. So as we see Aiden back in first place at the moment, we've got the camera on him, he's back in full concentration. So he's definitely meaning business up the front and leading this race, but also at the same time he's not too fussed if he falls back. He can still have a laugh and enjoy himself, as that's what all these drivers are doing as they jump on iRacing.
It's great to be a part of it. The Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E Series. Aiden Schultz will once again bring us to green on lap 120. The guys go with him this time. Steve Williams, Skurlock, Dave Douglas, all up there, all for company. Steve Williams goes with him, and they're not going to let him go like we've seen in the last couple of restarts, Jai, because they went with him this time round.
Yeah, Stevie Dump's been up there quite a few times with Aiden restarting as well, so he's gotten onto what he's doing, and he's definitely not letting him skip away this time.
We're now, 59 laps to go. Schultz, Lees, Williams, Skurlock, Douglas, Witcher. That's your 5 as we look. There's a little bit squirrely action back where the battles, where we keep on looking at a little bit further on. We're going to stay with these leaders though, because I think we've got Greg Spencer and Witcher having a good crack, and Dave Douglas in there as well. They're 3 drivers we've spoken a lot tonight, because they've been there and thereabouts, and the racecraft between them 3 drivers especially has been second to none. Because have a look at them now, staying in each other's line, and well, they're thereabouts. But as we go caution yet again, Jai. Okay, your lead. I think we joked about it earlier on, but every time I talk, you go to yellow, mate. I think it's your lead. I'll shut up and push buttons.
Now, what's definitely making this race interesting with the amount of cautions we do have, being a 1 mile track here at Phoenix, you are that critical lap number that is the earliest you can stop to make it home. Is pretty much going to be non-existent in this race, I believe, because the amount of cautions that we are having, if you make that green flag pit stop, you may go 2, maybe even 3 laps down with the length that the pit lane is and the length that the track is. So the last thing you're going to want to do is pit under green. So none of the drivers are going to be able to make it home from this point in time. So it's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be pretty much run the tank dry, unless there is another caution to be able to make it home. But then it's who's got the tyres late on, and who thinks track position is means more than tyre wear as well later on in this race as well. So it definitely is all to play for, and a lot of drivers are looking strong and can definitely be in contention to win this one, with still 19 drivers on the lead lap.
It's a good show of drivers on the lead lap. Tyres or track position? Mr. Sheedy, you're up on screen now, mate. Tyres or strategy, or track position rather? What are you going for?
The car's been pretty slow since lap 1, that first incident, so I've had no choice but to try and save the tyres, really.
How's it feel out there? It's stop start. I know it's everyone plans a race for green periods, but how's it feel out there, and is it hard to get your concentration as we go stop start?
Not really. It's a couple of nice little green runs there, but struggling to get any speed yourself out of the car, so just trying to tick along and keep up with everyone else.
Keep up with everyone else. It's everyone seems to be holding strong. Cautions, well, we're up to caution number 12, 125 of 80. We're well beyond halfway point. How many times do you have to stop, Wade? Just one more will get you home, or will you get home from here?
Depends how many more cautions we get.
It's all to do with cautions, isn't it, really? Track
right.
position, tyre wear, and who wants to have the greener tyres and the emptier tank at the end. But you're doing pretty well. You're keeping your nose out of trouble, mate. 126 of 180. Thanks for your time, mate. We'll hopefully talk to you at on Victory Lane.
It'll be great if I get there. We'll see if we can make it.
You'll make it, mate. I'll throw you back in the bar, and well, Wade Sheedy. He's back there. He's a little bit further back in the pack, but that's where the battles have been happening, haven't they, Jai? They've really turned it on, further back in the field.
Yeah, it was definitely definitely the place to be battle-wise earlier on in the race, but as we get later and later on and the urgency still comes up, we're not seeing the leaders skip away nearly as much. So that middle pack is turning into be a part of the front pack, and they're racing a lot closer and a lot harder. And with all these cautions and stoppages, they've got quite a lot of tyres still to use. So they could definitely push a lot more and a lot more comfortably situated with the tyre wear as well. So definitely things are heating up, and I think they're only going to heat up more and more as we get towards the end of this one.
Set up for a great finish, isn't it? Everyone's got tyres. We've got enough fuel to get to the end. We've had cautions plenty. Aiden Schulz is going to bring us to green once we get to the new and improved restart zone here on iRacing. How good's it been? How good is it going to be throughout the seasons to come? Long wait as a pace truck. I don't know how he doesn't get done for speeding here, but Schulz, Williams, Skurlock, Douglas, Witcher, they're all there. They've been there the whole race. And, well, it's going to be a good fight. I think we have to pit one more time. Schulz is gone. Williams goes with him. Skurlock and Douglas, they all get a good start.
Yeah, definitely an awesome start again from Aiden using that apron again, as we see a few of the top guys restarting on the top line using that apron on that initial restart to get that little bit of advantage going into turn one on their other drivers.
Side by side up the front, Schulz and Skurlock. Well, he'll take the lead into this one as he just gets around it. And no, Aiden Schulz, sorry, I apologise. Schulz is up here. The battle second to third, I'm concentrating on Skurlock and Williams. So Skurlock gets that position done, and the truck 10 of Dave Douglas, he's been there and thereabouts, and he's going to have a crack. And I can hear a lot of chat in the background there, Jai, that there's a bit of a battle going a little bit further down in the field is 96. Tristan Kosh in a little bit of an incident. That's going to bring out another yellow.
Yeah, another yellow going into turn 3 there, and on first glance it looked like they may have got together like we saw early in the race with the Southern Star boys. So history repeat themselves just with a couple of other drivers, but yeah, definitely racing hard as we check out the Skypoynt replay.
This is Adam Malone involved in this as well, so I think that he was involved in this. We can hear tight. Oh, nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. Adam Malone into the side of the 550, Tristan Kosh. So a little bit of a self-spin, I do believe, Joe, what we caught up on that replay. A little bit of a self-spin. Malone had nowhere to go, and that's definitely a case of wrong place, wrong time. Adam Malone would be absolutely dirty over that one, as that's probably going to end his race.
Yeah, it's definitely a bit of hard luck for Ads there, just getting caught up and not being able to wire up in time and just running into the door of Gotch there. But definitely not good, as he had to tow back to pit lane as well, as we saw. So when it'll be another driver with not having the result that he came in tonight wanting, but it's still quite a long way in the season to go with still, I believe, 12 more rounds after tonight. So definitely not out, and definitely will be in pit lane trying to repair the truck and get as many points as possible for tonight.
As we see the car number 1 goes through pit lane, Aiden Schulz. I'm not too sure whether that was a drive-through or not. No, it's not. So he's making his probably last stop, I do believe, for the night. We've got his teammates as well that were in there. Tom Pritchard's in there, Andy Barber's in there. So it's all about working in with your team, isn't it, at this stage of the race? And talk about teammates with Spencer, Witcher, Nigel Patton. They've done well to sort of stay there and thereabouts with their teammates. So I think now it's all about track position in sort of what I've sort of picked up, Jai. It's all about track position now. Try and stay where you're at, and hopefully you're around some people that you're comfortable with. We can see the Southern Star boys and Skypoynt boys put together and probably come out together, and the Pinnacle boys, well, they've been running together with Skurlock throughout this night. So having a mate near you right now with, hopefully this will be the last restart of the night, is pretty much where I'd rather be, and it's quite evident out on track.
Yeah, definitely tonight track position has played a very big part in this race. So seeing the Southern Star boys and the Skypoint boys, Barber, Pritchard and Schultz pitting down, they might hope for maybe one more caution. But other than that, they'd be hoping now it would go green, as that would make it, that would be their last stop if that was to happen. So yeah, definitely be hoping for a bit of green flag running now, and then everyone else would have to pit under green. So definitely a bold strategy, but I believe those boys are good to go all the way to the end now.
Some of the guys are good to go to the end. Some of the guys need to pit again. Williams will bring us to green alongside Skurlock at the start of the restart zone now. Williams doesn't leave any time to spare. As soon as he got that mark, he went. He takes the dog leg. He gets away nice and clean. A little bit of battle, a little bit further on within teammates. They'll keep it strong. Williams, Skurlock, Douglas, Witcher, and Spencer Patton. There as well. That's your top five. We got, I think that's one of the Southern Stars around the outside of, not too sure. I think that's Andy Barber having a crack in the Skypoynt 5.
Yeah, that's Andy Barber there, looking on the inside of Tristan Koch there as he drops the boys there. So definitely making his way forward as we go under caution again. So that means the Skypoint and Stars should definitely be good to go to the end. But we'll see if any other drivers elect to make the stop now, confirming that they could make it to the end without a stop.
Well, it is, I think, what's been a caution-filled night, 136 of 180 for Skypoint NASCAR Truck E-Series. 14th caution, only a few laps to go. 44, in fact, probably 42 once we get underway. Pitters can get home, thanks Kylie. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in on all 4 platforms here tonight, YouTube and Facebook of Skypoint Racing and LR Esports. Don't forget, share the love. We'll build up the Skypoint social platforms. Don't forget, hit that subscribe and follow button on those platforms as well. We'll be live on Friday night, the alternate of the DSL Welding Services supercars, and we'll put the same supercars on dirt. We've got NASCARs every Tuesday, and heaps more coming out of Skypoint and out of LR Esports. But it's been a great night. Stop-start nonetheless. Williams, Skurlock, Douglas, Witcher, Spencer. When we get to green one more time, Jai, we're all good to go, and it's going to be a good battle, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a very stop-start night, but hasn't really taken away from the excitement of the actual race itself. So definitely a lot of movers and shakers up and down the field, and with a few big names not having the best night, and a few new names having a pretty good night as well. So definitely shaking things up in the championship, but yeah, definitely keeping things exciting as well.
Talk of movers and shakers, the hard charger at the moment goes to Witcher. We're riding on board with him now. Up 30 positions from where he qualified as well, so he's sitting in 4th. Started the race obviously in 34th. You got to look down to Wade Sheedy up 21 position. A couple of drivers that are up 11 in Nigel Patton and Craig Roffey, and Henry Fenson as well. And Skurlock, which we've mentioned quite a few times, he's up 13th as well. And although they've gained heaps of places, or don't forget Reese Maid back in the field a little bit, probably safer place to be at this stage, to be quite honest. You see that foot go down, 14th caution, 38 of 180. You still got them Southern Stars boys. You can never trust when they're on a winner, or when they're going to when something is bad's going to happen, because we don't see them, then we see them crossing a line. That's the way that team runs. Plenty of patience. And I think that's exactly what's needed. Will Skypoynt do it? Will Pinnacle do it? We've got a couple of other teams in there to play as well, Jai. But Skurlock, for me, I think just with the race that his race in the 350 machine he's got to be my red hot favourite as we just about get set and ready to go again.
Yeah, we're definitely the top three with Stephen Williams, Michael Skurlock and Dave Douglas. They do quite a lot of oval racing. They're no stranger to stop-start races, and they're no stranger to the ovals either. So they'll be having a plan the entire race, and obviously it's worked out for them so far running the top three. But yeah, definitely no stranger to the ovals, and quite handy behind the wheel of one of these trucks as well. So definitely playing it by the book and do it well.
So we jump up into the stands with all the virtual fans as the guys will ready to take that green. You can see that restart zone pretty evident from this camera view as we sit up in the stands. And what an awesome view this is, thanks to Track Cancer Gourmets. Remember, we've had a few cautions, lap 139. We're approaching that restart zone. You can hear the engines rise, and we're green again. Steve Williams with a good start. Skurlock and Douglas and Witcher Spencer, they all go with him. So they didn't keep him napping this time around, did they, Jai? Williams, Skurlock, Douglas to go yellow, lap 40 at 180. Not a good restart as I first called.
Yeah, no, we had a truck, I think, maybe just spin up the rears a little bit about mid-pack and go around onto the apron there on the restart.
Aiden Shields as we go over a look on the Skypoynt action replay. Aiden Shields at the inside line. Our teammate of Andy Barber around the side. Got a little bit of a check-up. Gets a rear shunt. And around he goes. Brings out the caution. Bit of a check-up down in the field. That happens, doesn't it? Especially with big fields like this, as it gets, sort of, you drop a 1K at the start, and it progresses down to probably about 6K an hour less that you're doing. So a little bit of a dominoes effect further back, and that's unlucky, but happens.
Yeah, it definitely does happen, especially with some old tyres versus new tyres. It happens quite easily. So bit of a shame, but for a little bit of friendly fire from our reigning champ, Aiden Schultz, and he'll be kicking himself for that one, but he'll knuckle down and eyes forward and continue on with the race and try and make his way back to the front where he spent the majority of the night. So be all business again once we get green.
Well, out of the cautions we've had, and we've had quite a few, we're on our 15th caution now. We've only had 3 drivers because Steve Williams has brought us the green probably the last 3 times. We had Aiden Shields bring us the green probably 3 or 4 times as well, and I think we had Henry Fenson was the only other driver to bring us the green. As a couple of drivers, surprisingly, I think that may be just to get out of the heat of the battle. Jai, Skurlock, Patton, Marshall, Gosley and Vassell, they're all in the lane now. Do you think that's strategy, and now they know they can get home, or is that just for to get out of this sort of stop-start?
I'd assume that it was strategy and being able to make it home without stopping again, because all we've seen tonight is how important the track position is. As you mentioned, we've only seen a few people taking the start, so only a few leaders, and obviously it's quite important to be leading the race and up the front and kind of staying up there as well. So they may believe that they wouldn't be able to make it home earlier on in the earlier cautions, but now they're certain that they could make it home. So we'll definitely have to see who else can really make it home and how much fuel and tyres everyone's saving under these cautions. But definitely the front is the place to be.
Front or rear, I think, but at the rear you're probably losing track position, and you mentioned track position just then, so track position's key. Up the front, well, you're going to stay out of drama, you would hope. Most of the guys I can see as we look down the timing pit on around about lap 31 to 36, We've got Dave Douglas currently sitting in second. He last come through the lane at lap 80. So I think Dave Douglas will have to pit again, Jai. But lap 80, is that too early to know to get home, or with cautions would that help him?
It'd be definitely too early to know you could make it home, but the amount of cautions we do have, it is quite possible that he would be able to make it home. Obviously, under caution, you're only using about a third of the amount of fuel that you would use under full green flag pace. So it's definitely possible, and he's definitely, as I mentioned before, very well known in the oval leagues and a very good oval racer. So we're gonna have to see what arises from Dave Douglas here.
Let's see what does happen. He's got older tyres as we go back to the Geico replay. Oh, not replay, the restart zone. I've said it about 50,000 times. But anyway, Steve Williams, another good restart from him. Half the field take the dog leg, half the field don't. Williams, Richard, Douglas. We've got Pritchard falling through the field a little bit further back, but most of the guys, yet again, get off to a good start. It's like when they get it back into the rhythm. Squirrely car there, a little bit further. Zero aero option down the inside. I think Wade Sheedy. That's Henry Fenson. So Henry Fenson's got speed. Williams, rather, starting to make a little bit of a go at it. And have a look at the battle happening behind. 3-4 wide almost.
Yeah, these guys are going to have to be a bit careful here as well, as we just had a car come out of pit lane right in front of the leaders as well. So it's the first time tonight they've really caught up to a lap car this close together as we go caution once more.
Well, 146.
Don't think I'm going to nominate the review crew tonight.
We just heard that over the chat. Don't think we're going to nominate for the review crew tonight. And if you want to have a look, if you want to have a listen, if you want to be a part of the process of all the incidents here tonight, and there've been a plenty, and none malicious. It's just accidents. That's what happens in racing. But tune in after this broadcast. It could be midnight here on the East Coast as we're going now, but after it, well, we'll go live again. The Skypoynt Facebook page will go live rather, and you get to have a look at all these incidents and how they decide who's at fault and who's not. It's a pretty fair penalty. Panel, isn't it, Jai? I know you're part of it, and tonight, well, I'm going to bed early. I don't think you are.
I think I might be into a bit of a late one tonight, but definitely a very involved way of doing it. Like, especially going live, and they've got we've got quite a few guys from different teams as well, a part of the review crew. So there's no biasness. Everyone looks at it evenly, and it also gets not only the drivers but the viewers that do decide to tune in a bit involved, and quite a few times the live Facebook chat with the video goes a bit haywire as well. It gets very popular, so it's definitely a good way of doing things, and make sure everyone's aware, and pretty much just to see how the discussion is had with the incident, and it really leaves nothing on the table. Everything's done right there in front of you, so it's definitely a good process, and definitely feel honoured to be a part of that one myself as well. So
Dave Douglas takes through pit road to get his pit stop done. We were talking about that. He needs to make one more stop. He makes his way down pit road now, and that will be his final pit stop. And we've got a couple in there as well. Fenson, Pritchard, Barber, Blackburn. So a couple of guys looked to the end game earlier on. They've stuck to that strategy. They're pitting on lap 149. Majority of the drivers pit at around about 31, 35, some in 32s. The leaders, or top three, 104. So they got around about 45 laps of fuel and tyres under the way. Fuel's not going to be an issue. You want to be lighter. The tyres, I think, is what's going to get them. The car number one of Schulz back there in 16th position. His just leaving the pit lane now. He's going to be good to go to the end. The lights are still on. I think we're probably at about 1 to green. Jai, you're going to lead this one to green because every time I do, we go back under caution. But Williams will lead us away again. They start to form up now. Surely green racing is on their minds. Surely we want to finish this under green.
Nah, definitely the way to go, and finishing a race under green is always a lot more welcoming than finishing the yellow. But we've still got 18 trucks on the lead lap, and everyone can definitely make it home on fuel. We've got Steve Williams and Justin Witcher restarting on the front row here, which they both last pitted on 104, so a few more cautions and they might be able to make it home, along with Greg Spencer on 104 as well. So, but Sheedy there in 4th place is definitely the first truck good to go as they come up to the Geico restart zone now. And can Stephen Williams get an awesome jump again on the restart as he goes, and we're green. Gets an awesome restart again, and elects not to use as much as the apron as we've seen before. So definitely getting a good jump and feeling like he doesn't have to use the apron as much as we go into turn 1 and 2.
What a start that was. That was quite evident from Williams that he got the start done. He just left them all napping just a little bit as we've got some action. The truck 90 on the outside, just narrowly missing the wall. The truck 4 goes across the 0-0 track. I think we're going to go yellow here. I'm not too sure, but the battling is like last lap already. There's a long time to go. Steve Williams leads with just Spencer, Sheedy, Skurlock, 150 to 80. Bit of a checkup, in probably this first bit of the battle. We still stay too wide, a little bit further back, Jai.
Yeah, Nigel Patton out of turn 2, then just got checked up a lot as we see Tristan Crotch go a little bit wide through 3 and 4. But yeah, definitely got checked up a lot, and that kind of fell back through the field a lot. So definitely stopped anyone that he did have, and we're definitely seeing, as I think that was Andy Barber just getting a little bit loose in the turn 1 and going up the track as well. So it's definitely seeming like it's go time, as we've got a car on the roof. Oh no!
That was one of the Southern Stars boys, I do believe. Tom Pritchard. Tom Pritchard on his roof. I thought I'd seen it in the corner of my eye. They were running pretty well. We're under caution again. The truck 6, there was a car loose in front of him. Over he goes and spinning like a top down the straight, or probably a little bit of a straight we call here. But, wow, Tom Pritchard, Southern Stars, spinning on his roof like a top. There was a spinning car in front of him. Jai had nowhere to go. Unlucky.
Yeah, definitely unlucky by Tom. Couldn't quite see the livery on the truck at first, and I was looking down my timing screen for the truck 9, but then realised that it was Tom upside down in the car 6. So, yeah, definitely unlucky for Tom, and not what he wanted, and definitely not a good thing for the championship, and don't think he'll be as happy as he was before.
No, we got Schultz in the lane, Kosh, Svensson, Sheedy, Roffey and Pritchard. And Pritchard, I don't know if that was planned or not to go through the lane. Spinning like a spinning top. 26 lap to go. Steve Williams leads Witcher, Spencer, Skurlock, Reese, May. So, we continued the trend, and we're going to, by the look, continue the trend of a little bit of stop-start action here. Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series here at Phoenix. Well, you've barely seen people redline their trucks here tonight, have you, Jai? Very stop-start, but 26 laps of green would just be what everyone's hoping for right now. But the racing that we have seen, it's brought out a different sort of strategy, brought out a different sort of race brain in most of them, and Skurlock for Mind, and a couple of them other boys as well. They've sort of been right onto it throughout tonight, and know when to pull out, know when to sort of really push. But what are we, 25 laps to go? I'm still clueless who's going to win this thing. 180 laps we're going to see here at the end of the night. We're 25 laps short of the finish, and I'm still clueless, mate. What about you?
Yeah, it's definitely still anyone's race to win, and definitely anything can happen as already witnessed tonight a bit. But still the top 3 electing not to come down pit road. Still last stopping on lap 104 with Williams, Spencer and Witcher. So I reckon that they might be confident with all these cautions that they might be able to make it home, because if I was unsure at this point, I would have stopped to make sure that I could make it home. So there might be a lot of fuel saving, and then they might be looking pretty good. And as mentioned before, the track position seems to be key tonight as well. So might be a bit more important than tyres and fuel.
Let's have a look as the pace truck will pull off. When the lights go out, we'll probably have about 23 to go when we pass. So 1 to green, lights have gone off. We'll have a look from Steve Williams, you know, sort of head wall, you might as well call it. I think, Jai, that's not the one, that's the one. Maybe not. I'll get there one day. But we'll have a look when they go green as the pace truck goes off, and we'll have a look from, this is the one I wanted. He's got Witcher behind him, and I do hear some fuel saving. Witcher, Steve Williams, they battle around each other for a long of the time. You got Skurlock there in the 350 ready to punch. You got Greg Spencer, or I should say Pounce rather, not punch. And Greg Spencer behind. But let's have a look. Car 21 and Witcher behind. We're just about ready to go to green. Car 21. Justin Witcher up 32 positions, up 3 for Williams. Williams goes, gets the jump. Greg Spencer with a good run there as well, Jai. So that was a pretty good view to see who gets what as we ride on board with this. Spencer gets Witcher, teammates. Skurlock wants to run with him.
Yeah, it was definitely another good jump by Stevie Dub there, and Witcher just hanging back to that rear quarter panel on the restart. So might be a bit of an issue of seeing the truck beside you here at Phoenix as well. By the look of that.
Well, it's all green to go. Everyone's tied up. Everyone's fueled up. We're ready to go. Skylock takes the dog leg. A couple of them take a little bit of a nibble, but Skurlock right up on the tail end of Greg Spencer. Now he wants to have a red hot crack because he's in for mine, one of the box seat, as well as Dave Douglas, who is behind him. You want to work in together. 22 laps to go. 180 laps here. Skypoynt has car trucks E-Series here at Phoenix. He's starting to get the wriggle on here now. Does Michael Skurlock. He's got Greg Spencer to the outside. He might get the run on the inside here and take fourth position, and does a bit of a check-up. Dave Douglas, a little bit of a loser out of that. He gets checked up and probably loses a position or two, but now the elbows come out, 21 to go.
Yeah, Trent Gosley just set his fastest lap of the race in P3 as well, so he's definitely put the hammer down and realised it's go time now. So he's definitely going very quickly this late in the races. Andy Barber, Craig Roffey and Jason Wolf also set personal best laps of the race, so it's definitely beginning to be go time late in the race with 20 to go.
You've got Nigel Patton alongside Wade Sheedy. They want to go side by side. You're going to have a look at the 90, a little bit of a contact, 96. Good save, checks up the field. That could have been worse. They're all gone. Sheedy's loose, 03, spins the car around. Oh, we're going to go caution here again in the mid-pack where it's at. That's where you want to see entertainment. 19 laps to go. That was a caution, and I knew that was going to happen. Mid-pack, whoa, they slow us up a bit with 19 laps to go.
There's a few drivers there that had immense saves going into 3 and 4 there, but yeah, still ended up going caution. But yeah, definitely go time and definitely picking up the pace a lot as my timing screen just went green on their last lap. So definitely a few drivers really deciding now is the time to start making their way forward.
18 laps to go. Can you see out of the field that's left on the lead lap and in for the hunt? Because I'll tell you, I thought we'd probably have a good indication of who's going to take this one out and who's not, but I'm still clueless. We've got quite a few drivers out, and that's unfortunate, but out of this, let's narrow it down to the top 10, and even that's crazy doing it. But even if we round it down to the top 10, of Williams, Witcher, Gosley, Skurlock, Douglas, Spencer, Anderson, Roffey, Patton or Sheedy is Is there any of them names you can take for a victory here, or are you still in the same mindset as me, mate? Absolutely clueless.
It's really hard to call, even if we're only 18 laps away from finishing this one. But if Stephen Williams can keep up the good work on these restarts and kind of create that gap back to second place, he might be in for the win, to stay up in the P1 position. But then you've got Skurlock and Douglas in P4 and 5 that are always strong races, and especially strong oval races as well. So they're one of the last people to stop and got the freshest tyres compared to everyone else, and it's not too much of a difference being all the caution laps as well. So, but there'd still be that slight advantage for Skurlock and Douglas tyre wise as well. So my pick would be maybe one of those three. That's probably as far as I'll be able to comfortably narrow it down to a certain point, but it's still anyone's race.
The drivers will start to form up as we go. When we cross the strike, the lights will turn off. We'll go 1 to green. We'll go ready to get cracking once again. 16 laps to go. Williams, Witcher, pit on lap 104. Gosley, Skurlock, 142. Dave Douglas is the name that we spoke about. He pit on lap 148. Caution periods, there've been aplenty. There've been, every few laps, 18 cautions. I probably wouldn't have expected that, but Williams, Witcher, Gosley, Skurlock, Douglas, Anderson, Spencer, Roffey, Patton, Sheedy. Movers out of them, Justin Witcher in second place, up 32 positions, up 20 for Wade Sheedy, up 24 for Gareth Anderson. So lots of movers, lots of shakers in the top 10, lots of different pit strategies as well. So lap 8, a lot, 16 to go, 18th caution, got so many numbers on my screen. Now we're going to go 1 to go, I do believe, Jai, but it's anyone's guess. Good racing though, when we have seen racing, been stop-started, but 1 mile is very short here at Phoenix. Quite a terrific... what was I going to say? Sorry. No. I'll restart that. Quite a tricky circuit to navigate.
Yeah, it's definitely tricky and quite unique, and definitely I'm pretty sure it's the shortest oval they go to all season long as well. So it's definitely at the other end of the super speedways that is all important for this this series. But the track here at Phoenix, it's definitely got the coolest caution light being the cactus just behind the starter's stand. But yeah, it's definitely might need a few more globes after tonight's racing.
There'll be plenty happening around that restart zone as we're just about ready to go. 15 to go. We go green through the Geico restart zone. Williams brings us to green once again. We got 3 wide, Richard Gosley, Skurlock. They're the names we've been talking about. Skurlock goes to the high line. The high line seems to be working, but the truck 4, he wants to go around the bottom and he's not letting it go. So that's truck 4 of Gosley. He's been there and thereabouts. He's got Witcher to his right. And the bottom line seems to be left out to dry as Skurlock may be the opposite now. As we go 2 wide across the strike, 14, 13.
Yeah, Trent's just on there as well to get the gap in front of Skurlock and pulls up before Skurlock can get back to him. But Stevie did another awesome start with Witcher in tow and Gosley, Skurlock and Douglas rounding out your top 5.
We've got a little bit of a move. Craig Roffey down there around the outside, or he's attempting to go around the outside. A little bit squirrely. Wade Sheed is going to get through, and they take the dog leg. So Roffey pit on lap 154. He's got clean tyres, possibly cold, but he's getting eaten up here. Lost 2 positions. Wade Sheed, he wants to go again with Anderson in his sights now. So around the back of the field, we've got movers again. Andy Barber's back there in 11th, down 1 from where he started, and he's got a line of cars in front of him, doesn't he, Jai? But keeping it clean right now, fighting to get to the end. You still got to keep your nose clean at this stage because anything can happen out in front.
Yeah, definitely, and Andy will be he's sitting pretty in P10, which he'll be more so vying for a consistent finish at this stage, seeing that a few of his championship rivals early on in the series have had a bit of an unfortunate night as well. So he's a very heads-up racer, and he'll be telling these guys in front of him just to have at it, and maybe hoping that some might come to cuts and get a few more positions that way. But it's very he's a very calculated racer, and he'll be just sitting there and look to just get to the end of this one.
Got Craig Roffey and Wade Sheedy in a heat of a battle. A little bit of contact. Wade Sheedy having into the wall. We're gonna go caution again because he went up on the outside. Although we may stay green. Heavy into the wall. Heavy contact in the wall. Bit of contact. Whoa, mate. Where would you want that to happen? At the start of the race or the end of the race? The race continues under green. We go back up the front. Williams, Gosley, Skurlock, Douglas. We all fan out. Roffey's in there, causing a little bit of chaos. The truck 10 and the truck 21 now. They're starting to heat it up. Skurlock's down the inside, ready to have a crack. Takes the dog leg. Skurlock moves up to third, just.
Yeah, as we start with 8 laps to go now, and Gosley's still hunting down Stevie Williams at the front, but they've got a little bit more of a gap back to Skurlock in third now, so they'll be all eyes forward for Trent and trying to chase down and minimise this gap as he's just pulled another 3/10 out of Stevie Dub that lap. So definitely on a mission and will take his truck to the point.
We jump on the rear of Trent Gosley, currently sitting in second. We've got a slow car down the inside. We've got the couple of cars just trying to get around each other. This is where tyre conservation in the early stage of the race counts. Skurlock, big tail happy moment down there. He's going to be, he doesn't want that to happen too many times. We go yellow again with 7 laps to go.
Yeah, as they go caution again as the pacer truck comes out, and I believe when we get a restart on this one, it'll only be 2 to go, so it might not use the green-white checker yet as we check out a Skypoynt replay.
Replay, I think Aiden Shaw's. Oh, look at this, the car 29. Big contact with the wall, probably took about 2 or 3 drivers out there. So Schultz, Spencer, Roffey and Pritchard all were involved in that one. 6 laps to go, and great note too, Jai. I don't think we will crack into the green-white checker stages, so still a chance to get one, but hopefully not. But when we get going, it is absolutely sensational racing. I think as we go on and the more cautions we have, number 19 we're on now, is that it's getting a little bit, you know, stop and go. I don't know how these guys do it. I know the predicted, you know, beverages alongside of them are probably long run out, I'll tell you, because you probably predict, okay, this is a 2 glass of water or 2 glass of cordial sort of race when you're a driver. Take a sip here and there, but they've had plenty of time to do that. They've probably drank every last drop out of their drink beer, water, vodka, bourbon, cordial. Williams,
yeah, definitely.
Gosley, Skurlock, sorry mate, is your 3 right now, and plenty of rest time. Jai, 19th caution, but well, how have you seen it so far? It's been good once it's been green, but a little bit stop-start for my liking.
Yeah, definitely a lot of stop-start tonight, and, but once we have had those green flag runs, and especially later on in this race now, with the urgency to like try and make your way up through the field as well is getting more urgent as they've kind of been restricted in being able to move up through the field because of the caution laps as well. So yeah, definitely the urgency is coming up, and there's not much time left to take your truck anywhere, so there's a bit more risk on the track, and definitely a lot longer than these drivers thought they would be here tonight. As we're touching on about 2 hours and 10 minutes race time so far, so it's definitely a bit of a longer one tonight, and I know a lot of these drivers have probably underestimated their literage of drinks, or well, the amount of drinks they've put beside them, and they'll be yeah, probably looking to end this race, and a few might be doing a few happy dances and racing off to the bathroom at the end of it as well. So definitely keen to see how this one plays out, and a lot of the drivers will be definitely happy to see that checkered flag in 3 laps time.
3 laps to go. We're still a chance at getting a green-white checker. The lights are out here on the pace truck here. Round number 4, I believe, of the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E-Series. Stop-start. We've had 19, or could possibly be 20 cautions. We're on our 19th. We've got 3 to go. Williams again. So we've only had about 3 drivers lead us to green throughout this massive race. 180 laps we're going to see when Barney waves the checkers. We're going to go to the Geico restart zone, and we're going to go underway again. This is where it's going to get interesting. Williams, Gosley, Skurlock, who can do it? Douglas with the greenest tyres. That's what's going to be what's going to win you this thing. That and a whole heap of kahunas. We're going to go green once again. 3 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. We go to the Geico restart zone. We're green once again. Skurlock down the inside. What a restart. He goes to Williams. Another nice restart from Williams. He goes there. Skurlock goes with him though. Skurlock knows that this is do it or die.
Yeah, definitely not another good restart by Stevie Dub, but Skurlock and Trent Gosley are not letting him go with Dave Douglas and Gareth Anderson in the top 5 as well. So definitely game time, and definitely as we get the white flag. So the next flag will end the race.
I can move into that green-white checker period as well. And the final lap, the white flags are out. Williams, Gosley, Skurlock. This is the battle. Gosley and Skurlock. I think Williams has it. Gosley and Skurlock. Skurlock a little bit squirrely through there. He could be a little bit, you know, a sitting duck forward. Douglas has got a car going a little bit wide into the wall. Not too sure. Williams takes the race. Gosley, Skurlock, and Douglas Anderson just a little bit further back. That was the race to the finish. That was 3 laps at its finest, wasn't it? But good restart from Williams. Skurlock to get P3. I thought he was a chance of getting that win, but Williams, he was strong all night, and he gets the W.
Yeah, definitely did exactly what he needed to do there on the last restart, and got the jump, and then just held it on. Didn't overdrive the truck into either end of the racetrack either. So very well deserved win, and that track position all night long really paid off. And as we see some victory burnouts by the 98 of Stephen Williams.
Let's check it out. The number 98, Steve Williams. Great job, great strategy, and well, he pretty much brought us to green 99% of the time. I think we had Jules lead us to green a couple of times, and we also had Fenson lead us as well. So I do, and Dave Douglas once as well. So only a few drivers to lead us to green. That's about the fuel we got for celebratory burnouts, mate. But Steve Williams, Gosley, Skurlock, they definitely deserve these accolades.
Yeah, I wonder if Stephen Williams actually ran out of fuel doing burnouts there, because he last pitted on lap 104, which was 76 laps before the finish of that race. So definitely a very long way to go on fuel, and definitely showed how important that track position was to stay out there and hold the lead.
It was great to watch. Stop start, 19 cautions here. Round 4 of the Skypoynt NASCAR E-Series. We'll get the results, the Skypoynt results up on screen, and we'll see how these guys ended up. What a great night of racing. But, well, it all ended up like this. And, well, Williams, Gosley, Skurlock, Douglas, well, they deserved every, every accolade, every kind word that we're going to say to him in the post-race interviews. I thought Douglas was there and thereabouts, didn't we, Jai? That he had the better tyres. We thought he'd get up, but he was very close. The battle across the line to second, third, and fourth. Well, that was some of the closest throughout. But Although it was stop-start, we'll take that out of the vocabulary for a little bit. Jai, that was definitely it was an entertaining race, wasn't it? Round 4 here at Phoenix. I love this track. It's awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, it definitely didn't disappoint, and awesome to see all the drivers in different lines, especially through that dog leg. Just watching those trucks fan out, especially on the restarts, and even as they made their way through the green flag runs that we did have, just exploring the track and exploring the lines, and it's really good to see all the different lines and different strategies, and all the fuel saving, and really making those decisions early on and making it pay off.
Well, to win a race, let me start that again. It was going to be a good one. It was going to be a good one, like they all are. But first, to finish a race first, you got to finish, or something along those lines. Everyone knows those sayings. But the point I was getting at, Williams, Gosley, Skurlock, they finished the race and they finished up on the podium. The rest of the guys, they done a great job as well. We've got Tom just in there saying his congratulations as well. Shout out to Tom, director of Skypoynt, for coming on board and showing their support. We got to get a move on too, because we got the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck Series race review coming up on the Skypoynt. I think it's the Skypoynt Racing Facebook page as well. So we'll get a wriggle on, but definitely what a race this was, Jai. We'll quickly get in before we hold them up again into the podium chat, and we'll get a chat with these guys, because that was a stop-start race, but entertaining nonetheless. So we move into the podium. It was a great race. Sorry, boys, just jumped in mid-conversation, but well, stop-start race. I did say we're going to take that out of the vocabulary, but I don't listen to myself, let alone anyone. But stop-start race. It must have been hard out there. Williams and Gosley and Skurlock, we got yous in there because yous are overall, 1, 2, 3, and talk us through it. Michael Skurlock, you sort of had the pace on, and you and Douglas, I thought, we're probably going to have a battle for first and second, not third and fourth. But well, you got there in the end. It was a tough race in the office tonight, wasn't it?
Yeah. There was a few strategies going around. Everyone was doing different things. I thought there's no way Steve-O would make it, but I'm sure you'll talk to him about that in a minute. But so he were basically discarding him we're saying he's gone because he has to pit. We thought there was Witcher there, who was in second. I thought he was gone, so it was like between me, Dave, and Trent. That's what I thought. And then Steve just kept hanging in there. So I'm surprised how well everyone drives, because I've done so many laps around this track that like I thought I'd have an advantage, but different people surprise me all the time and they get better, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't think Trent's done much of this racing, and he was faster than I was at the end there. So it's good work to everyone. There was a few crashes, but that happens here all the time.
It's good to see too. It's good to see a lot of, and as you mentioned, a lot of people that haven't driven around each other. They drove around each other. They stuck their nose up. They weren't afraid to have a crack, because everyone knew that, well, if you don't want to make a mistake, but if you do, they knew the guys around you. Well, it was definitely done with no malice, and it was all done just, oh shit, I stuffed up. And I'm sure in the chat that people were apologising. Just as we've seen on track, it was pretty gentlemanly like stop-start, but that's what it's like. I think Phoenix brings out that with, any league, any sort of, NASCAR action that we see, and that's why we like the track. It's short, it's tight, it's bloody hard work, I tell you, especially when you got 40 of you blokes all starting a race to win. But tyres or fuel, Michael? What was your first thought coming into this round? Tyres or fuel? What was the one to save?
Oh, fuel for sure, because there was enough tyres there to sort of tide us over. It was mainly just fuel, and when the more cautions that came out, it was going against what I was planning on doing strategy-wise. But yeah, I think what happens on tracks like this is just when you get like 3 or 4 yellows continuously, everyone just gets a bit more anxious, a bit more angry, and then so each restart is even more like everyone's driving a little bit more harder, and so then another crash happens, just correlates into each other.
We did notice that, didn't we, Jai, that every time we went green, it was either, I think we only had 3 or 4 different drivers bring us to green, but we did notice, didn't we, Jai, that the elbows went out, after each restart.
Yeah, it definitely did look like it was getting more and more important to put the hammer down early as we got later on in the race, and with the amount of cautions we did have, my question for Skirley is how important or how hard was it to really decide when to take to pit road with the amount of cautions and really try and put yourself in a position to be up front?
Yeah, that was the main decisions, That's the one thing me and Davo were thinking about was when, because like it's good to go in before everyone else, but then you risk getting wrecked at the back, with people who are driving a bit different to what you're used to up front. So it's better to stay up front, safer. But yeah, I don't know. It was just literally I watched Aiden go, and then I went the next time. That's it. That's all I did.
And in the ways of championship and for the Royal Triple Crown, we know that it's going to be a tough ask, but it can be beaten. $1,000 up for grabs if you take out the Royal Triple Crown, and also prizes for the championship after tonight and after your finish here tonight, Skurlock. How do you fare yourself in the long game? It's a long series, but how do you fare yourself after tonight?
Yeah, just stay consistent, man. If I could win anything, at least I'll have some proof to the missus that I'm not just doing this for nothing every single day.
Well, we got the Lady Palooza.
I bragged to her that there's a reason for doing this, but I don't think she believes me.
Oh, the community is awesome. I tell you, one thing, we'll just go off a little bit off topic, Michael, but there's a Lady Palooza race we're putting on next month, mate, where we all step out of the way and all the better halves jump in the sim. If your better halves interested in that, well, that'll just show her well, not just to show her, but to have a bit of fun. It is fun. The community's great, but definitely to anyone that has partners in and around the sim racing, Lady Palooza, go check out skypoynt.com.au. All the details are there on the Discord and all that. But definitely, we do it for something. The racing is great. The racing is probably harder on here than it is in real life, but it's great to watch. Hopefully everyone enjoyed the show, but Michael Skurlock, P3, up 12 positions. Is there any last words or shout out to the people that make this happen, mate? Yeah, the floor's yours.
Yeah, just shout out to Skypoynt, putting the series on. Shout out for you doing the commentary, and just shout out to everyone that raced to make it, nice big fields. And most of the time it's good racing too. Like you said, everyone's respects each other and that, so it's good. It's good fun, man.
It is good fun. I absolutely love it, mate. Congratulations to your P3. We'll see you next week. We go to Pocono next week as well, so another short track and another great night of racing, I bet. But congratulations on your 3, Michael Skurlock, and hopefully we can make this a thing on Victory Lane.
Definitely, mate.
Well, Michael Skurlock, he done great. Up 12 positions, up 5 positions. Trent Gosley, you were in the heat of the battle. The strategy just come too, didn't it? It was a tough night of racing, but P2, mate, got to be happy with that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I don't know if you'd call it a strategy. I ended up going a lap down after getting a stop-go penalty and had to come back from the back and just made something happen there at the end.
Talk us through it, though. Like, it must be a little bit of a confidence, downer sort of thing when you do go a lap down earlier on the race, but then, tonight just showed that that's not the be-all and end-all to be, like, right there at the front. You can get back for them, but when it happens and you go a lap down earlier on, talk us through that, mate. Like, how do you stay focused because it's a long race, and how do you not get sort of a little bit disheartened?
I think I just focused on what I had to do next. I knew that when the lights went green, I had to get down to the pits as soon as I could, and I did that, and I only lost 1 lap. And then I knew that there was enough cautions that the lap was going to come back, so I actually wasn't too stressed about it. I never really thought much about it, to be fair, and I just knew I had to get forward as quick as I could.
Well, you did that up 5 positions, so fairly consistent. That's what that tells me tonight. And obviously, you just mentioned yourself that lots of cautions. You knew what you had to do, and you pretty much got there in the end in second. But coming into tracks like this, does experience with cautions come into play when you're planning, or do you have to plan every oval as if it's going to go green?
Oh, mate, I think every oval you sort of just plan for it to go green. Like, you sort of try and make some moves in the first lap or two if you can, and then you just sort of just try and save. But yeah, I think the experience does help, because that's my first time I've started on the front row on a restart like that, where you got a restart zone, and I kind of screwed that up a bit. So luckily, you still get second.
Well, the restart zone, I think that's screwing a lot of people up, isn't it, Jai? Good footage from up in the air from that Geico restart zone. It's a good addition to iRacing, Jai, but I'll throw over to you. And we've got to get this underway. I've probably given myself a little bit of a kick to get this sort of penalty system and Facebook Live underway, Jai. But it was a great night of racing, Jai. And is there anything you want to add? And we'll start to get, wrap this up.
Yeah, no, it was just an awesome drive to end up P2 for you there, Trent. And just with the amount of cautions we had tonight, was it a case of just thinking of what you had to go next on every caution, and that's as kind of as far as you're looking, or was it still like the long game strategy wise?
No, I think when I got that many cautions, it was just what I had to do next, and then I just made the call to get tyres about 30 to 40 laps from the end, because I knew that the cautions would come into play, and I knew that I wouldn't wear my tyres out that much. So, and everyone else was saving fuel, and I got to get fuel being at the back anyway, so it kind of all fell into my lap, really.
Well, Trent Gosley, position number 2, car number 4, up 5 positions. There was a good fight from you all night. It was a long race, 180 laps, stop, start, from start to finish. But, well, P2, that's all that counts. When you cross Barney's flag, that's your position. Position 2, mate. If there's anyone you want to shout out to, or any last words, mate, it's all yours, and congrats on your P2.
Thanks, mate. I just want to thank Skypoynt for putting this series on. It's been really good, and you guys for commentating, and everyone that hosts it. MFR Racing for letting me drive for them, the sponsors, Baker Diversified Contractors, their mobile car detailing, and SNR Hunting. Thank you.
Well, mate, hopefully you done all the sponsors proud tonight. I tell you, P2 in a race that was stop-start, that definitely wasn't easy. Steve Williams, you led from the front. You led probably majority of the field to green throughout tonight. Talk us through, mate. You were leading most of it, but it still wasn't easy, was it?
Nah, especially, I was unsure with the fuel, whether I was going to make it or not. I seen Skurlock, he was the one that I noticed when he pitted, and I thought, oh, maybe I've done the wrong thing. I should have gone with him at that stage. But yeah, just knew I had the tyres and the car under me. It was really good. The setup was comfortable with that, and so I wasn't worried about tyres at all. It was all just making sure I had it there for the end.
Well, we had a lot of practice. It's only newly introduced, the Geico restart zone, but we had a lot of practice. You a fan?
Yeah, I don't mind it at all. So it's still, the leaders got the advantage, but I think it tightens the rest of the field up. Able to judge the start a bit better, because it's such a short restart zone.
Yep, and it is short. And you led them away, and led them away nicely. A couple of times you left them napping, but well, P1, mate. You got the W. You're going to take some points into the championships. We go to Pocono next week. What do you take out of Phoenix to Pocono? Anything?
Nah, not really. Just take each race as it comes, because anything can happen. Just hope for the best the next one.
That's the beauty about oval racing. Anything can happen. It's great to call races with you guys in it. Stevie Williams, or better known as Stevie Dub. If there's anything you'd like to add, or shout out to the people that get you here each week, mate, floor's yours, and we'll start to wrap it up. Congratulations, P1 here tonight.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks to LR Esports for doing the stream. Skypoynt for putting the series on. It's good to see that, good numbers and a lot of new faces, and the NASCAR stuff is definitely getting stronger and stronger all the time. Then all the fellas in the team, simrigs.com, Southwell Lifts and Hoists, Ben Max Mechanical, Phoenix Smokers, NP Designs, and Dice over doing the numbers for us.
Well, you got
on the fuel numbers. He was telling me what I had to hit each lap.
Well, you got the support behind you, and it shows, mate. P number 1. You're going to take a lot of points. Furthermore, we go to Pocono next week for the Skypoynt NASCAR Truck E-Series. Jai, mate, you back me up 100% again. Just send the invoice ×2 this week, I think, mate. But all in all, round number 4 was a success, wasn't it? It was stop-start, but great racing from start to finish.
Yeah, definitely stop-start, but didn't take away from the level of excitement. But this week at Phoenix, been a 1 mile track. We move to Pocono next week at the 2.5 mile Tricky Triangle. So definitely a big change in the track style, and definitely going to go to show who can adapt well and who can get the consistent finishes between the different styles of track.
It's going to be interesting to see, isn't it? I can't wait for Pocono. I can't drive it for absolute. And we'll beat that out there. I don't have the technology to do it. But, it's going to be good to call. Good luck to the guys that go from here to Pocono. We've got Charlotte and all the rest coming up in the NASCAR Truck Series. We've also got the 8X V8 Supercars E-Series live on the LR Esports tomorrow night on Wednesdays. And each and every Wednesday we'll have that. Friday night this week is the DSL Welding Supercars E-Series. How good's that series been? Throughout. We've got hopefully maybe a series coming up on a Monday night. Failing that, we'll probably go back to the strength of field, but there's plenty of happening on the Skypoynt and the LR Esports network. But Phoenix for the Skypoynt NASCAR Trucks E-Series was a success. Stop-start it was, but Steve Williams, Trent Gosley, Skurlock is your podium. Jai Schultz joined me. My name's Peter Gretton. Until the next one, have a good night. Don't work too hard. Cheers.